When the whispers grow in the halls of power where the secrets flow, who you trust? Tell me, who do you trust? Who you trust? Do you trust? Do you trust? Do you trust? When the whispers grow.
Good evening, everybody. This is the Political Theater. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. This is Friday Night News on the Political Theater. Thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you guys share this space out. So we're just getting started here. We're getting everybody up here on the stage. But we've got, an interesting day today. And it looks like Spanberger is completely melting down still. She has decided that, her entire mission that she wanted to do in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, was to stand up for the federal workers. But I'm not really sure how she intends to do that if she refuses to work with Trump at all if she wins. I'm not really sure I understand how that's possible. For those who missed what I'm talking about, there's a clip there floating around right now of her being asked directly, so will you work with Trump to help create jobs in Virginia? And she just says, no, she won't. So, it's pretty amazing. Just completely ignore it. No, we're not going to work with Trump, even though the federal government is the largest employer in Virginia. But it's also Halloween, guys. So happy Halloween to everybody. And thank you guys for showing up this evening. If you guys are listening to us on X, if you're listening to us on Substack, Rumble, YouTube, wherever you guys may be listening, thank you guys for showing up this evening. If you guys want to leave a comment below, we do read all of the comments throughout the show. We read the comments out. We'll put them up on the screen if we can. And we do read them in the space as well. So thank you guys for showing up here today. And we're going to get rolling right away. So what is happening, Jacktron? What is happening, Trash?
It's Halloween. Our favorite data guy, Harry Enton, has a Halloween special data dive on CNN. I sent you that clip so we can get into that for some fun times. But it is Friday, so looking forward to the weekend. And next weekend, obviously, is going to be a busy week for me. I'll be in Vegas all week for a convention, so that's going to be a blast. Let me tell you. But yeah, lots to talk about. A lot of fun things going on. A lot of craziness on the internet today, and I don't even know if we need to address it because, I think it's too early. I stand behind my statements. That's it.
You stand behind your statements?
Yeah, my statement is Kevin Roberts is correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tired of the op.
Listen, I love that you bring this up, Trash, because I'm not kidding. I was scrambling to get ready for the show because I spent in past 3 hours sitting here getting ready to do this, and I was like, I have to write an article. I literally sat down and wrote a whole article talking about this just before I even got on the show. So it is worth mentioning this again because yesterday we brought this up and we discussed this extensively about how the people that are upset about anything that certain people decide they want to talk about it. All they want to talk about is one issue, and we get very annoyed by it. But the problem that I landed on, and I've been thinking about this for months, really. It's not just like a new thing, but it is something I've been thinking about for a long time, is that the general problem amongst the right and the people that are, there's a group of people on the right. There's some that are like this super pro-Israel people, and those are one group, but that's not even that large of a group. But there's another group of people that is larger, which is, I would consider the traditional conservatives, and they don't like the new conservatives. And I would consider the new people in the conservative movement more just like a general American nationalist type movement, and that's I think the better way to describe it. But the problem is that they don't understand at all that the people that are talking about the American nationalist concept, that they have genuine grievances. Like they do have genuine grievances. That's just because they arrive at the conclusion a different way doesn't mean the problem is not the way that they what their conclusion is. The problem is how they got there in the first place. Okay, that's the issue, but no one understands that. And that's part of the reason for that is because instead of actually teaching these people, which is what they should be doing, showing what's going on, how this stuff happened, why we got to this point, why we failed and what we did wrong, and saying it is all on us. It's a personal problem. It is a country problem. We failed our own country because we didn't maintain things properly. We didn't put proper leaders in charge. We failed, and now we have to fix the problem, and it's our personal responsibility. Is the only way you'll fix the problem. But instead of saying that, you go, stop talking about it. Like, I mean, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, it's the dumbest thing in the world. It's like, it's, screaming because you don't like the way that they came to their conclusion is the dumbest concept I've ever heard, let alone the fact that just yelling at people doesn't accomplish anything. Okay. If you we said this yesterday, if you're going to try and tell Tucker Carlson to shut up all the time, all he's going to do is be louder. I mean, it just doesn't work. We just went through 15 years of trying to convince people that we all needed to be silenced whenever we said something we disagreed with. That's not going to happen anymore. We're done with that. That's over. So if you want to get your ideas across, why don't you actually sit down and talk to the people that you describe and you don't like them, instead of trying to throw them out and cast them out to sea or something, like you're going to be able to cancel them. You're not going to be able to cancel them anymore. Okay, it's not happening. Okay, even if you do manage to get them away from the general public on the internet or something, it doesn't work. Okay? Like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't get rid of them. They're still there, and they still have an audience. Like, I mean, you think that you're going to silence them or keep them quiet or something. It's just not happening. But the bigger problem to me is that, again, the idea is that the right really seems to have lost the ability to teach themselves or to teach in the next generation. Instead of looking at these people, these younger, because most of these people are younger. Most of them are. Like, I'm talking about like we had a couple people on the show last night talking about the Nick Fuentes and how they were fans of Nick Fuentes and stuff like that. And the general problem is not Nick Fuentes and that his issues or whatever he talks about. That's not the problem. The problem is that you're not teaching these people anything. You're yelling at them, scolding them like children or something. And scolding people doesn't get your point across. It's the equivalent of like, honking when you're in traffic. It doesn't do anything. I mean, you can't yell at people and wag your finger at them forever and expect them to just take you seriously. They're going to laugh at you. And part of the reason they're going to laugh at you, by the way, is because you have to realize that this next generation that's coming up, okay? The next generation that's coming up has had nothing but teachers that told them that everything about their country was terrible. That everything about their traditional values of this country were awful. We know that we're not good. We were founded by bigots, by racists, by horrible people of all kinds. And the problem is that a lot of people rejected those ideas. They did. They rejected the concept that America is a bad place. They didn't believe it. They didn't like it. But that doesn't replace the educational aspect that they should have received when they were in school. So they may have moved out and said, well, you don't like this. We don't agree with this. So they have moved into this new form of the right, but they still were never given what they actually needed to be able to have the constitutional ideas embedded into them. They don't have American literature embedded into them. People don't read Burke or read Faulkner or read Mark Twain anymore. They don't read this stuff because it's not taught in school anymore. Now, some people may go out and read it on their own, but not many. Most of these people are going to go out and listen to podcasts, and they're going to get their education from people that are a little bit more angry than they are wise. And that's what you should be doing, is going to the people that you see like that and mentoring them and teaching them and giving them ideas and working with them so you can see if you can improve their ideas, because they might actually agree with you if you actually get them down on the point. But if you yell at them all day long and scream at them and say that they're the worst people that exist and that you can't talk to them, and if you go on their shows, we're going to cancel you, you're not going to get through to people. You're not going to get through to people. It's not going to work. And in fact, the more that you do that, the more you lose. That's what I don't understand. They do not grasp this. There's a whole wing that doesn't seem to grasp it. And they're doing the same thing to Kevin Roberts right now from Heritage Foundation. Oh, my God, it's the end of the planet because he said he defends Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes' right to have an existence. I mean, guys, you are not winning by telling people that this is bad. Okay, like you're not winning. That is not a message that is landing or being successful.
Is actually a real America First guy. Like Texas Policy Institute, before he went over to Heritage, like he actually speaks America First language, right? But these apoplectic meltdowns were ridiculous. And I'm like, I have a different experience with the man, and I have a different experience with what is being said here. And nothing he said was wrong. The thing is, it's not just the younger generation that they're doing this to. They did this to me today for saying it. And I am definitely the wrong person to do that with, to be clear. And I will get very loud and I will call you many names for even proposing to think that you're going to thought police me at all. I've been fighting for censorship and deplatforming, fighting against censorship and deplatforming and debanking for a very long time. And to think that you're going to come over into my lane and tell me what people should or shouldn't be platforming and what they should or shouldn't be talking about, and that we need to shut this down, and if you don't do this, we're going to go after your donors, we're going to go after everybody in your organization. I'm like, you were no different from leftists. You were everything that I fight. You were everything that I despise. And I encouraged many of them to not do it, and they all doubled down on me. Okay, all right, I'm just warning you right now, because that's not where the pulse of where we're moving forward is. And I can tell you, and here's the other thing, the other comment that I made that I took a lot of heat for was Mitch McConnell comes out and says something. Uh, 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 Pirate Dan comes out and says something. Crenshaw comes out and says something. A bunch of the fake right bulwark people come out and say something. Anybody remotely associated with Israel comes out and says something. And I'm like, all of you guys have been practicing and participating in establishment garbage, and you have destroyed and wrecked the GOP. And you're all out here acting, clutching your pearls, acting like he said something that was just outside of common sense. Yeah, you're already people I hate. So I don't know what case you're trying to make here. But I can tell you that you're going to push people into a direction that you didn't necessarily want them to go. When if you just let the marketplace of ideas and sunlight be a disinfectant, we could have worked out the conversations. But instead, they went full leftist cancel culture, and I still have people arguing with me in my mentions saying, "Well, I don't agree with it." I'm like, "Great. You want to cancel it and get people fired from their jobs and get them removed and deplatformed, debanked? You're no different. You are my enemy now. I literally don't care." And like just like the tone deafness of it, as if we didn't just go through this the last 4 or 5 years plus, fighting against it, clawing it back, for everyone to weaponize and spin up and use social media to kind of prove some kind of point of how much now I hate you, and you weren't even on my radar. Like, did you see the people like tagging you as if you're my boss or something? Like, what are you doing?
What
Paul,
now?
did you see
I must
this?
no, I did
Did you?
not see this, dude. Like I said, I've
Oh
been
no,
busy for the this afternoon because I got off work and
no,
I went
no.
over and hung out with the baby, and now I'm just now getting here. So what happened?
Yeah,
I
no,
can't
they're
wait to read
tagging
this.
you as if you're my boss, or like we're gonna get canceled or something because I defended Kevin Roberts. Or they said I was simping for Kevin Roberts. The
I
guy's
cannot
done
wait to see
more
this.
for conservatism than you've ever left the couch, you idiot. And then you want to like what tag me, like what, try to get me canceled? You're out of your mind. I will cancel you, and I will make you look foolish. Do not do that. I do not do well with bullying. I especially don't do well with cyberbullying, and I really especially don't do well with censorship, deplatforming, debanking, and that's everything that they attempted to do today, and it's disgusting.
Well, so there's a couple comments here I want to read from a couple people. So there's one of our listeners in the space here. So he said we went from cancel culture to say that they say that they love Hitler overnight. So look, I understand what the issue is here. Okay, I understand this problem here, but the problem again with this idea of it's not that it's cancel culture; it's that you're not engaging with them at all. Okay, you're screaming at them. That's the problem. Like you're scolding them. Okay, so if you want to say that their ideas are wrong, you're probably right. Their ideas are wrong. They're very wrong. In fact, they're very stupid ideas. But what you have to do is you have to go talk to them, and you have to get them in places where they get pinned down. You should be putting them on bigger shows so that they can be taught and shown that they are wrong. That's what you should be doing. But instead, you're doing the opposite, saying, nope, no one can talk to them. No one's allowed to speak to them. I mean, like, just say what you want about Nick Fuentes, okay? Say whatever the hell you want about this guy. The guy literally was put in the middle of freaking nothing. Like, he was one of those people that they just completely removed from the internet, okay? He was just like Alex Jones. He was just like Nick, like Milo. Okay, he was one of those people. They just threw them out of the internet, and then you get mad at them when they finally show back up again, and they actually still have an audience, and you're like, oh my god, where did they go? Like, well, they've just been sitting out there doing things on their own this whole time. They didn't go anywhere. You just didn't see them anymore. Okay, so you didn't get rid of them, and now they've got a much larger following, and they're even more radicalized because they're just part of this group of people that are still sitting there. Like, I mean, like, you just moved everybody to a different area where they didn't have any challenge to their ideas. Nothing at all because you removed them. You removed them from the challenge. That's the problem. If you don't challenge them, if you don't like their ideas and you don't challenge them, then you end up in a scenario where you had 10 years where they just got to think whatever they want and no one was there to challenge them. So now you got a problem. Like, I mean, it's a ridiculous concept. This is again the problem with censorship. The censorship issue. The issue, like, creating censorship and siloing and all this stuff, it does not fix the problem. It makes it worse. Makes it worse. If the idea of censorship is to try and keep down and tamp down on extremism of some kind, if that's the concept of it, it has the opposite effect. Okay, like, it doesn't make it better. It makes it far, far worse. Because then if you have a bunch of people that all agree with each other all the time, like, yeah, sure, those people are going to get even worse. But the deal is, if you really want something to happen from it, you should talk to the people and you should be teaching them why they're wrong. That's the deal. You should be teaching them. That's the question that I don't seem to like. Why are we so vehemently opposed to teaching other people about opinions? I mean, if you really believe that you're a conservative and you actually believe in the ideas and the founding constitution of this country, then maybe you should understand it a little bit better, because it's all about free will and free choice. That is the only way that anything happens. But the only way you manage to get people to move to your side is you teach them why your side is better. Okay? You don't sit there and scream at them, say, you can't say that, and I don't like that you said that, and because you said that, you're a whole bunch of bad things. That's stupid. Okay? That doesn't work. And especially not now in our current age. Okay? Like, especially now. Like, if you maybe a number of years ago, something like that would have worked. But we're way past that now. Way past that. Okay, that stuff is gone. Okay? It's not coming back. So the idea that we need to be so upset about this, and people need to be much more attentive to this, because this is just reality. Okay, you're not going to get people to stop talking by calling them names and saying that you don't like what they said until you go and engage their ideas directly with them on public platforms in places that they do not. It's like, who understood this better than anybody else? Okay, let me ask that just for the general audience here. Who understood that the best way to get through to people is to talk to them in public forums on a regular basis in front of a crowd so that everybody else can hear the ideas as well? Charlie Kirk did. Charlie Kirk did. That's what he did. That's how he got through to leftists. That's how he broke through into the younger generation. Okay? That's how he did it. He talked to people. He talked to people in open forum, no matter how stupid their ideas are. Like, no matter what you say about the new nationalist right people, okay? No matter what you say about them, they are not nearly as insane as the people who said that men are women, okay? They're not that fucking crazy. They're not, okay? They're not nuts. They have genuine grievances. They just arrive at the solutions to their grievances through incorrect means. That is something you can talk to. You can reason with people like that. But instead, you're just yelling at them. And that doesn't work, okay? You have to reason with them, and you have to be willing to talk to them in open forum and open debate, okay? You must, because if you don't, they're going to win, okay? Like, that's what I guess you guys don't understand. They're going to beat you because you're not doing it. They're saying it. They're saying, I will talk to anybody. I listen to a lot of these people. They say they'll talk to people. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they won't, and maybe these people are all just like being grifters online, but I don't believe that at all. Okay, I don't believe that at all, because I see these people going to different big events and talking to people on a regular basis. So if you don't want to talk to them, that's fine. But I only see one side saying that you're not allowed to go on this show, and every time you go on this show, we want him removed from the speaker panel at AmFest. Okay, I only see one side asking for that stuff. I don't see the other side asking for that. So if you really disagree with the ideas, then you need to attack the ideas, not the person. That's the only way to do it. And you have to have that debate in open public for everybody to see. That's the only way you can do it. And if your ideas are significantly better, then it will work. That's the only way.
Yeah, no, that's correct. That's all I want. Matter of fact, I don't even agree with most of. Frankly, I haven't watched Tucker Carlson in a very long time. Matter of fact, the last thing I enjoyed from him, not only, well, the speech that I saw in person here in Glendale, Arizona, was his speech at it was at Heritage, actually, and he was talking about the reality of things. I put a thread out. This was back of April of last year. As far as Nick Fuentes, this is not my bag. That's not my thing.
That's right.
First, really, like, I mean that. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. I just don't care. But I'm not advocating for people to be removed from the internet, right? Like, I will challenge any idea that's presented to me. But, like, to start lumping people into bags and start putting them to neatly put them into boxes, so you can understand them instead of just understanding the ideas, I think that's weak. I just think it's weak sauce. And I think that the reason that the First Amendment is the First Amendment, it's a freedom of speech, is because you're supposed to challenge the ideas in open air for everyone to hear and see. Because I want to remind people of what the first that Jeff Landry argued in the Missouri v. Biden case. He said, freedom of speech is not just your right to say something. Freedom of speech is the right of other people to hear it. This is a fundamental principle of the First Amendment. And what's being advocated for right now, to me, does not stand that test. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And it doesn't align how I view the Constitution was constructed. And reading the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers and understanding how the framers actually wrote the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, it's very much departed from what we saw today. Where I believe, personally, in my opinion, I believe that Kevin Roberts was absolutely advocating for the right things about the Bill of Rights. How you feel about it, no matter how emotional you feel about it, the right of others to hear what's being said is no different than the right to say them. And so I'm sorry. I don't care. I can disagree and dislike, and I can tell you why I disagree, and I can give you the reasons why I disagree on certain things. It doesn't mean that I want people removed from polite society, unless, of course, you're doing actual illegal things. If you're doing illegal things, if you're inciting violence, if you're doing things against children or another person and you're committing a crime using your speech, well, that's not protected. That's game on. I need that person actually arrested for incitement or whatever it is, the actual crime that they've committed. But if the crime is saying something you don't like, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry that you don't like it. If you're not offering a counter to what's being offered by that person that you abhor so deeply about what they're saying, if you're not offering that, then you're going to lose that. You're going to lose that battle. I'm sorry. So I advocate for, just like Walt was saying, I advocate for people to present a better argument. And this is not it.
Well, and that's what the biggest point that I've been making is that, and here's the thing. I mentioned this to people a number of months ago. I said, look, when this whole debate started riling up, a number of months ago, people were screaming about Tucker Carlson having some, idiot that I don't know his name on, Daryl something, Daryl Cooper, some historian.
Daryl Cooper.
Wait, listen to me. Listen to how everyone's screaming about this guy like he's the worst person that ever existed because he's a postmodernist historian. Like, I'm sorry that you haven't been to a modern college now. That's what every freaking college historian thinks right now. Okay, like they're all just like that guy. Like, I mean, it's like it's not new. This isn't some straight like that is. Let me just give you this brief story here, just because this will really land this idea of postmodernist history for you. So my senior thesis, when I was in college, I was writing on Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. And that was the concept. I was writing about the two of them and how they had similar effects on the world. And I think that their two stories really shaped the Western world and really changed the Western world greatly. And I was, doing essentially a compare and showing how the two epics really were told in similar ways. And, their lives were compared in similar ways. And we passed through the ages in similar ways. And behind me, I don't know if you can see it in this photo here, but there's a giant book on that bookshelf. You can probably see it down there in the bottom corner. Normally when the lights are on, you can see it. It's a giant tome. This is a original Latin to English translation of Caesar's Gallic War commentaries. It's a 500-year-old book, okay? They still spoke Latin when this book was translated. Okay, so that's just to give you a concept here, right? When I was writing my thesis, that was going to be my primary source for Julius Caesar. That was going to be my primary source. I brought it in. I set it on the table in front of my teacher, and my teacher looked me dead in the eyes. This is a senior, the chair of the history department at a decent, a nice private school, a nice private college out in the Midwest. And she looked me dead in the eyes and said, Latin isn't translated like that anymore. You can't use that. Yes, you heard me correctly. An original old book was too old for my history class. Yes, they translate Latin better now at Yale. That's the level of history that we are now taught, people. So, like, just keep this in mind when you're hearing someone like Daryl Cooper who has stupid historical ideas. That's the kind of thing that you're hearing in college now. So, the idea that he's some great historian, no, not really. I don't think so. I think he's just a standard historian now. That's what they all think. They're all idiots. The modern education system has completely corrupted itself to the point that of essentially irrelevance, really. I I mean, the teacher that I'm referring to for my story, she was what they referred to her as a modern history teacher, which means that she focused on from 1970 until now, which is, I don't know, hilarious because there's most of the people that were born or in the 1970s. Lots of people are around that were around in the 1970s. Like, I don't know, like everybody my age's parents' generation was around in the 70s. It's not like this is ancient history. So I'm not really sure how that's considered an entire field of study, how you can say that 30 years ago, or I mean, I guess, 60 years ago now is ancient history of some kind. I don't know. But anyway, my point is still that, they're screaming about someone like Daryl Cooper and screaming about him, saying he's the worst person that's ever existed because he has different opinions on how the war was told. Why are you yelling so much about this guy? Like, it does not matter. He's not important. Okay. Like all he is just a guy on a podcast. Okay. You're yelling about a podcaster. Congratulations. No one cares. Like, I mean, I didn't even watch that whole episode. The only reason I watched that episode, and this is something we mentioned yesterday, like half of the time when you hear these people screaming about this stuff, the only reason anybody sees it is because you're all yelling about it. That's it. Like, that's the only reason that anybody hears any of this stuff is because you're yelling about it in the first place. I would have never known who Daryl Cooper was if someone hadn't told me I had to go listen to it. Okay, you must go listen to it. He sounded, you will never believe what he said. And you go through and listen to it, and I'm like, well, I mean, he's an idiot, but whatever. Like, why am I listening to this? Oh, that's right, because you told me to go listen to it. Like, it's the only reason I listened to it in the first place, because you told me I must, because he said something ridiculously and horrible in it. Like, oh my God, I could have just gone my whole day with not knowing that and not caring. Like, I don't care what Daryl Cooper does. Yes, and not caring.
Correct.
Big part there.
That's correct. Not caring. That's my point. Like, I actually don't even know who Tucker's had on his show. I mean, like, I've seen clips, but I've seen it from like groypers and stuff, or like people who are just like aghast at someone saying something on the internet. I don't know, man. I've grown up with the internet my entire life. I've seen way worse shit than what's being talked about right now. And the other thing that I warned about when it came to censorship and deplatforming was the ideas don't go away if you don't challenge them. Instead, what you've done is you've created fringe communities where it can fester and grow and become something that is out of control and that nobody's going to talk about or challenge. They just say it needs to go away. It offends my delicate sensibilities. Boy, oh boy, did you not go into an AOL chat room when you were a kid? My God. So, like, I'm sorry. I'm not interested in the emotional blackmail aspect of it. I am interested in challenging ideas, and I am interested if something interests me, and I can actually like listen to it and say, well, that's half true, that's half garbage, that's not really well thought out, that's a convenient connection of dots that don't really need to be connected. Here's why I say that, and it'll be X, Y, and Z, A, B, C. That's what should be done. And that's what I love. I crave that. But now we've just gone into this like weird, just like stupid part of the internet, post censorship, reintroduction of censorship, and people just run with it. It was like I made the comment earlier. I'm like, yeah, it was all good, and you were fighting a good fight against censorship and deplatforming when it was going against you. Now that you don't like, you hear something, you hear something you don't like, your immediate reaction is not to counter it and offer a countervailing argument. Instead, it is just get rid of that. Ew, it's so gross. Get rid of that. I can't deal with it right now today. Like, that's how it feels. Like, that when I read this stuff and the stuff that I'm just like, that's weak. That's weak sauce. Like, I literally will challenge any idea if I feel like challenging it. And not all ideas need to be challenged. But if you feel the need to challenge that idea, challenge it. Don't weigh institutional power and try to get people removed from everything just because you don't like it. Like, that is not meritocratic behavior. That is soft. That's bullying. It's cyberbullying, and it's soft behavior. I'm sorry. I'm just not interested in it, man. The United States and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is hardcore, whether you guys want to admit it or not. I made the case last weekend where I said that being MAGA and being Constitution in America, actual America first, meaning that I'm concerned about the American citizens above them, but beyond everything else, is pretty punk and hardcore. But like, I'm sorry, if you feel an allegiance to somewhere else for some other reason above and beyond what the principles here are of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights here in the U.S., I advocate for you to be a champion for that. But just don't come at me because you don't like what somebody has to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the point here, right? And by the way, and I was looking to see trash. I don't see these posts that I was tagged in, so I don't know why. Maybe it's by somebody I muted or something. Like I don't know who it was.
I'll find it. It's not going to take very long because people are still going at it.
Oh, great. See,
Here,
that's
oh
entertainment to
no,
me.
yeah, I'll send you this one. I did use retard correctly on this, and I'm going to be accused for bullying an older woman. And I'm like, well, I mean, don't step into the Thunderdome if you don't want to be called a retard for saying retarded things. Um, but yeah, so here I've got it right here. You were tagged in it, by the way. Um,
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if it's somebody that I've muted, that somebody I really already hate, which would be very funny. Like
I have no
that would
idea.
make it very entertaining.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, here we go. Here, I'll just send it to your DM so you can take a look. Here's one of them. Here's just one of them as an example. I mean, this is one of many today. I've been dealing with this all day.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, like, it's seriously ridiculous. But yes, yes. Trash Discord. I need to be put in timeout, Walt.
Oh yeah, so Janice is actually somebody that I've spoken to before. So I don't know exactly why Janice you're sitting here thinking that we need to why anybody would be simping for anybody, because that's not at all what he said there. Sounds to me like Kevin is correct, and like guys, anybody who sits there and is trying to tell you that Kevin that Kevin Roberts of Heritage Foundation is somehow incorrect in what he just said. Do you realize that he probably had 60 people sit there and write that freaking statement for him? Like, I'm not even joking. That's probably how that happened. Like, it's Heritage Foundation.
I mean, I'll tell you the story. So what happened is that there was a bunch of people that were making calls and trying to get donors to cancel their donations, all because he was friends with Tucker, or he was Tucker spoke at Heritage or whatever. And this has been going on for a long time, and they were trying to get, Tucker canceled and blah 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 blah. And then so he had to come out with this statement because it had been going on and on and on, and he wanted to try to put it to bed. And I thought he gave a reasonable response, and he did say that he and his team had been talking about this for some time. And I just, again, this is leftist behavior. I'm sorry, it just is.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's not that it's just leftist behavior. It's just stupid behavior on the right, at least. Like, I mean, like the people that are sitting there trying to convince you that we need to silence people on the right, and we need to be quiet. We need to quiet these people on the right for whatever reason. Okay, like for any reason. If you want them to be quiet, then go prove that they're stupid. And not only do you have to prove that they're stupid, you can't just do it to your audience. Okay, like if you really disagree so badly with those people, then you need to intentionally, openly, publicly offer them debates in public forums where everybody can see it, and then you both need to sit there and talk about it in public on a regular basis. Okay? That's the only way. That's the only way. You want it to go away? That's how you fix it. Like, I mean, and I told people this months ago, by the way. Like, if you really want to get this to happen, get two people that vehemently hate each other, like that are just like the worst people to argue, that like they every time you see clips of them, they're always talking bad about each other. Like, and I think the perfect example of this would be something like Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson versus Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin. Okay? Imagine that debate. Imagine how absurd that would be to watch, for one. So for entertainment value, I need this to happen anyway. But just outside of entertainment value, if you guys really hate each other in your opinions so badly, and that you think that the other side is so wrong, that you're willing to mention each other and talk about each other on a regular freaking basis, it's all the time. Like it's so ridiculous how often these people talk about this stuff with each other. If you really think that, then sit down at an auditorium with a whole group of people that you get to invite, and don't make sure it's a completely, sealed thing where you don't get to have a whole bunch of your fans show up and a whole bunch of their fans. Just announce it one day, like announce it 2 days before, so everyone's there, and there's, it's first come, first serve at some college campus or something. Okay, do that, then have the debate in open and see what side lands on top at the end of the debate. Okay, just debate, do it. I mean, like that would solve your problem for both of you. Okay, if one side is so stupid and one side is so evil, then you'd be able to see that pretty quickly in an open debate, an open forum. So why aren't you doing it? I guess is my question. Like, I mean, for both sides of this, if you guys really wanted to. Now, whether or not I have seen anybody on either side offer that, I don't think so. Have you? I haven't seen that. Have you seen any of these people say
what? It cut out. Say it again.
I don't know. It's not cutting out for me.
No, it just cut out. What did you say? What was the
I
question
said
you asked?
open debate. Like, have you seen either side offer open debate at all
No,
anywhere?
no. I've seen people saying that there should be no platform where anyone can debate. This is my beef. This is my problem.
Yeah, I mean that's what I don't understand. Like I don't understand. Like if you guys really wanted this to go away, you would just have the open debate in the open forum, and you just do it, and you would have that open dialogue that you want so badly. Which, by the way, I would like to note this. If you guys go look at some of these, turning point events that have been happening, some of the questions that these guys are being given, some of the the speakers that show up, like Glenn Beck was given a whole bunch of questions about Israel and stuff like that. What happens every single time those questions get brought up? Okay, with somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, they get smashed in like 4 seconds. It's like every time. So like if you guys have if your side is so right, then you just need to have the open debate so you can prove it to everybody again with the top tier of whatever it is that you're arguing about. Okay, like just have it. Have it sit down. Don't do some, back end podcast, or don't do it, some back end area where no one else gets to see it and you get to edit it and do everything else. No, unedited, unscripted, sit down, shut the hell up and have the talk. Okay? Outside of that, and if the first side to offer that and then have the other side deny it, then that would be the victor anyway. So you don't even have to have it agreed. So like, say you're someone like, on the right, on the traditional conservative right, or even the more pro foreign policy right. If you really dislike these people so much, and you don't think that they would ever be even willing or possible to have a debate with those people, offer it publicly and see if they show up. Do it. Okay, that would also solve your problem if they don't show up. Then you get to say, hey, look, they won't show up. They won't have the talk. They're obviously wrong. I mean, just anybody else think that that's pretty obvious? Like, I mean, this is why I don't understand it. Like, you could fix this stuff, but you don't. I mean, my only thought is, I think about this a lot, actually. The people that are using, like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, some of these people, I know that they're actually not stupid at all. And what they do is they know that if they drop those little things in there, that people will virally grab those clips up and they'll go take them and share them for them. And these people play into it every time. Every friggin' time. Like, it's not even funny how often this is. The entire groups of people watch Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes just so they can clip them. Just so they can clip him and say, look what he said. Like, do you not get it? Like, do you not get that you're part of the game? Like, you are the idiot that is doing it for them. Like, I mean, it's amazing to me that people don't pick up on this, but, like, it's very obvious. It's very obvious. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's very funny to watch, but I would like it to just end because it's very annoying. Guys, like, if you're so much better than each other, you need to stop yelling at each other and you need to go sit down and talk about it. And the traditional right and the people that are screaming that, oh my God, these are the worst people and we can't let them into the party. No, you're also wrong. Okay. You're also very wrong. Okay. You can convince people, and I will happily work with these people and bring them back out of the problems that they represent, the problems that they talk about, because their problems are not fundamental reality changing problems. Okay. I'm willing to debate and get you through issues that I think you're just wrong on, because we can do that. Okay, we can do that. We can have those debates. You don't have literal physical reality issues like we do against the left. Yet we seem like to act as if they're of the same quality. They're not. Okay, they're just not. They're just not of the same quality. It's not even close. But anyhow, so yes, Trash, I am glad that you brought this up because I was literally writing an article about this before we sat down. So.
Yeah, I'm just frustrated, man. You know how much time I spent in, the censorship realm and trying to get the marketplace of ideas and sunlight to be the best disinfectant for any bad or good idea. That's all I wanted, and I was just really disappointed what I saw today. And then people, I mean, I don't care what people say about me. You know that. I don't care. It's more or less, I think, the fundamental idea of this. And this is what I've been fighting for. And I warned about this, by the way. If you guys don't remember, well, I'm pretty sure you'll remember 2-3 years ago. I warned about this. I warned about this was coming. And again, I'm a nobody, so they didn't take heed, or there's too much financial incentive not to take heed. And that's something else I would like to consider. With that being said, I think we can move on. Well, unless you have something you want to add to this, but I did send you the Harry Enton Halloween special data dive, and honestly, I think it will kind of break this mood a little bit. But I did want to say what I had to say, and I wanted to say it more than in 240 characters. I wanted people to hear my voice, people that have always heard my voice, and I've been very consistent on all these issues for a very long time because I ground myself in what I believe to be true, not what I think people want to hear. And so, I'm willing to take some heat for it, for what I believe. But did you see this? Scroll up a little bit. Yeah,
I'm
it's right
looking at
there.
it right now. This looks ridiculous. So yes, I would very much like to play this.
Yeah, yeah. So let's set the audio listeners up. Harry Enton is wearing a blow up costume of dumpster fire. It's a big dumpster and it has little flames and it has a little fan in it and it's blowing air. So he's like wearing this inflatable dumpster fire costume. Harry Enton is like the best gem at CNN and it's not even close. And his data has nothing to do with politics, and I'm here for it.
I love it, dude. I really do. I really do like Harry, and he's become a favorite for us. So anyway, here, let's see what he has to say here.
Now is CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. Harry, as you can see, is into inflatables.
That's right.
Harry, can you tell me about how this is working?
This is working. It's working, but like this entire segment, it's kind of a dumpster fire. Every single segment I do is encapsulated in this costume right here. You never know what's going to happen, but you do know it's going to burn up in flames.
Is there actually air blowing?
There is air blowing in here. There is consistently air blowing in here. When I go out for Halloween, I go out full throttle. That's what I do.
All right, Harry, let's talk about all the polling surrounding Halloween. So for adults, what's their favorite activity? And I assume the polling here is on fully clothed activity.
This is on fully clothed. That's exactly what we keep it clean in this segment, John. Despite the dumpster fire, we keep it clean. Look, if you want to be a winner and you don't want to have a dumpster fire Halloween, the #1 most popular thing is to pass out candy to trick-or-treaters at 33%. Look at this side of the aisle, the least popular. Passing out healthy snacks. Do not have your house handing out healthy snacks. Save it for the other 364 days of the year. Otherwise, your Halloween in the minds of the kids who come trick-or-treat will, in fact, be a dumpster fire.
All right. Do people have a favorite candy?
Do they have a favorite candy? Well, why don't we take a look here? America's favorite Halloween candy. Look, #1, according to DoorDash, is Reese's Cups. #2, M&M's. Oops, let's get that.
There the inflatable hit the wall.
The inflatable hit the wall. It's a workplace accident, right? #3 is Hershey's. That's my favorite. #4 is Snickers. But the bottom line here is Reese's Cups. You can't lose on that in the minds of most people. Look at this. The inflatable keeps hitting the wall. You can't lose in the minds of folks with Reese's Cups. But if you want to make sure you don't have nuts, how about some Hershey's, which is actually, I think, my favorite.
Can I just say, does this include Crackle? Because I feel like Crackle gets shortchanged.
It does not include Crackle. This is those milk chocolate bars that I think are the generic standard.
All right. Now, Harry, in terms of what people believe in, I don't believe in Beatles. I just believe in me, Yoko and me. But what do people say?
Thank you, John Lennon. Okay, what are we talking about here? Well, Americans who believe in, vampires, 9%. How about witches? 24%. This entire segment seems to be filled with witches. But ghosts, ooh, that comes in at 39%. And ghost belief is actually way up in this country over the last 45 so on years. Ghost belief used to only be about 10 or 11%. But based upon this segment, guys, I do think that there are supernatural forces at work because I somehow got through it. It wasn't a complete dumpster fire.
But it is emblematic of everything going on in our lives today.
That's right. Your life, my life, dumpster fire.
The common denominator is always Harry Enton.
Harry Enton has become obviously a favorite for us. A lot of his different ridiculous data takes, but just as generally as an entertainer, this guy's fantastic. No one can deny that. He actually is just a good entertainer, and I've really enjoyed watching him over the past year or so become probably, I don't know, the only pollster that I ever watch on TV. I think he's the only one.
He is, and I love the Halloween segment. By the way, shout out to Reese's Cup lovers across America. You are the real America First people. I agree. Matter of fact, today at the office, little anecdote. We had a couple employees walking around with king-size candy bars, all different varieties in bags. And they were like, hey, happy Halloween. Do you want one? And I said, well, I don't really eat sugar. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw a king-sized Reese cup. And I thought, well, I mean, that seals it. I went ahead and took the Reese cups because that is the best candy on planet, and it's not even close. Many will say Dubai chocolate. Some will say, and I'll simply point out that Reese cups are king supreme.
I got to say, no king's trash. So that's all I got to say to that. No kings, man. I thought, what's the hell's the matter with you? No kings in America.
My apologies. They're Trump Supreme.
Emperor Supreme. What is it we used to call him on the Donald? What was it they used to call him? God Emperor? No. That's the Daily Wire guy. What did they used to call him? I forget what they did. There was a term for it. Remember, Lord, like Emperor, Ruler Supreme, or something. There was some ridiculous label that we gave to him on the Donald. Which, if those don't know, back in 2015 when Trump was first like coming onto the scene, there was a Reddit page that was called r/the Donald, and it was by far the largest and most active Trump supporting network on the internet by hands down. Like, just, there was hundreds of thousands of people on there were supporting Trump until they banned the website. Or they banned the subreddit, and then we started our own website, which was called thedonald.com, and that was up till January 6th. But I forget what they used to call him, Lord Emperor of the United States or something like that. I forgot what it was. It was just hysterical, though.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. Man, that was 10 years ago. That's crazy.
It's crazy to me that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's nuts. So it was originally the Donald.win, and then it became Patriots.win.
Yeah, and I think it just essentially got replaced by Truth Social eventually.
Essentially, yeah, that's essentially what happened. It made its way off of 4chan and Reddit and made its way to Truth Social is essentially what happened. But wild stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. It's great. It's great. I loved it. What good memories. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved this.
The internet is also fun. It doesn't also always have to be hateful and spiteful and crazy. It can also be a lot of fun.
Yes, I agree. So anyway, let's talk about something that is spiteful, insane, and crazy. Yesterday, for those who didn't see this, Glamour magazine decided that they were going to, for their Halloween special, they released that 9 of their women of the year are all men. I don't know if we've said it here recently, but in case you were unaware, all of the best women are men. That's how that works nowadays. So that's still a thing. That didn't go away. That still exists. In case people thought that woke was dead or something, it is not. It's still hanging out. It's still here. And there's you go. There's the women of the year right there on the cover, and 9 of them are men. So yay. Oh, I think I went through it and actually looked. You know who one of the women? There was actually a woman was in there, which is unfortunate. Was the Rachel Ziegler girl, which is the woman from the Disney film woman that was just horrible this past year.
Snow White.
Yes, Snow White.
Yeah, Snow White was built around this misogynistic thing where this guy was a total creeper following this woman around, and he basically date raped her. Weird. Yeah, that Rachel Ziegler. That's the one.
Yes, she's terrible. It just my favorite thing about that Rachel Ziegler woman was the fact that she was so bad and atrocious to after that movie came out that the director and the producer of the movie was like, what is the matter with you? Like, you intentionally made this film unsuccessful. Like, he was going after her publicly. It was very funny. She was like, just how dare you useless woman. Like, God, that was hysterical. Oh God, these people are just atrocious.
What they had to do. No, it was hilarious because what they had to do, initially they had casted. Remember this. I actually would like to set the story a little bit since we're talking about it. So initially they had actually hired for the live action the live action film, a bunch of actual real, little people in Hollywood. And then Peter Dinklage comes out, and he says, "Oh well, it's more offensive that we use real little people. How dare Hollywood do it?" And all the actors that were doing it, they're like, "Yeah, no, this is exactly why we're in Hollywood. We want to be little people, and this is the role of a lifetime to be one of the 7 dwarves in the Snow White live action. This is the one." But Peter Dinklage pulled up the ladder behind him. Okay, that was one scandal. So then what they decided to do, in their infinite wisdom, was come out and have full-size adults, and it had a myriad of cultures and colors, and it was all these full-size adults that were supposed to be.
They looked like they had escaped from a Renaissance festival. That was it. It was
right. But they weren't dwarves. They weren't little people. These were full-size.
What did they refer to them as? Mystical something? I can't remember what they referred to them as.
It was something
so ridiculous,
right? And so they got a lot of backlash from that. So then they were like, okay, maybe we bring in some animated in the live action, and we can bring them back to dwarves again. And then Rachel Ziegler went on with Gal Gadot on this media tour, on this media blitz promoting the movie, and she basically wrecked and destroyed it using like these woke talking points from Hollywood about, stalkers and Snow White's prince was actually like a rapist or something, and it was weird, and we wanted to change it and empower women. And then if that wasn't enough, then Rachel Ziegler went out and started attacking MAGA and was saying all these things, so like basically alienating half the country from even going to see the movie. And if that wasn't bad enough, then Rachel Ziegler went out and was talking about how the Jews are responsible for everything all the time. And meanwhile, her co-star Gal Gadot is Jewish.
Listen.
And
It's just the best person
Not
that you
just
could
Jewish,
possibly
she worked
get.
for the IDF.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't matter. The point is,
Jack?
she said that she also worked for the IDF.
I'm sorry, she was Israeli. Holy crap.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Who cares? The point is that Rachel Ziegler sucks. She was terrible, and she is one of the few women that got Woman of the Year for Glamour magazine. The rest were men. Like it's just so damn funny to me. Like everything about that's ridiculous. I mean, it's just whatever. Even Piers Morgan called it out. It's like this is probably the end of Glamour magazine. It's like when Piers Morgan's calling it out. Just incredible stuff. Incredible stuff, really.
It was wild. Sorry for that. Sorry to make sure that I didn't mischaracterize anything too, by the way.
Who cares? Anyway, so let's continue on here. So I definitely think we need to get to one of the funniest things that happened today. So for those who are not aware, we had a friend of ours, friend of the show, this guy named Thomas Speciale, and he has been on the show many times, and he's a former intel officer. And this is interesting news that happened today that no one else, I mean, we were the first people to get it because he sent it over to us first. But the deal is that Thomas Speciale, he went to some forum somewhere. I'm not sure. It must have been in some college or something like that. It was maybe Mason University or something like that. I can't remember where he said this at. But he went there, and John Brennan was there with a whole bunch of like senior level spooks. And the reaction that John Brennan gave was just phenomenal. So let's just go ahead and listen to this here because I think everybody needs to hear this. This was just absolute gold.
Anyway, why don't we go ahead and start taking audience questions? Sound good? Why don't we start over here? It should be on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Tom Speciale. I've been a career intelligence officer for over 20 years, in the military for over 34 years. I recently left the DNI as a senior advisor for Tulsi Gabbard on counterintelligence and security. And in fact, I made many of the suggestions on dismantling some of the things that are being dismantled, and also made some suggestions on improvements, which I'd love to talk to you guys afterwards and get your feedback on, because hopefully it's going to be going to some important desks very shortly. I want to agree completely, Director, with your assessment on Iran being on their heels. We've got to keep them on their heels until they reform. We've got to do that. I disagree on the deep state, only because Trump says it's the deep state, but as we all know, it's really just the entrenched bureaucrats that run the country. I'll get to my question, I will.
Yeah, please.
But I want to establish sort of my bona fides on this question before I ask it, because I really hesitated to put you guys on the spot on this in public, but if you're not going to be at the after hours, I got to take my chance now. I was at the DNI when the first ICA was released regarding cyber influence on the 2016 election. I was there, I was working in the NIM, I read it. I also was involved in setting up the Principals Committee meeting that took place in December that resulted in President Obama directing a more fulsome, because I understand the difference between a cyber ICA and a total whole of government ICA intelligence collection on Russian involvement or influence in the election. And I noticed immediately in the ICA, the second ICA, because I had access to the classified ICA, that there were statements in that ICA that were not supported with the sourcing that was associated to the ICA, specifically that Putin had directed the action and that Putin had, that the Russians were actively trying to support President Trump instead of just sow chaos.
Your question.
My question. There was an email that went around from General Clapper to yourself, and Hayden, I'm sorry, not Hayden.
That's right.
Yourself and Comey, etc., that basically said we all got to get on board with this, otherwise it isn't going to work, basically. And I think that email puts everybody in the crosshairs. I would like to hear what your justification was for supporting the dossier that was known to be false being used as source material in the second ICA.
I don't know who put you up to this.
Nobody put me up to this, sir. I'm here on my own.
I don't know what role you played or who you are, but it's a bunch of bullshit that you just passed on.
The emails are clear, sir.
Bullshit.
The emails are clear.
Bullshit.
The emails are clear. The second question.
No, I think we're going to go. Look, we can talk about it. Talk about it in the reception.
Russian disinformation.
No, we didn't say that. Get your facts straight.
You said it was likely Russian disinformation.
No, we did not. We said
yes,
it.
you did.
No.
In that memo,
Read the letter. I'm
ignoring.
ignoring. Okay.
And I just like, I know I'm going to get uninvited
Yeah.
to the after hours.
No, you're done.
Come on, all right, we're going to go over here.
Let's
go over here for a question.
Thank you very much. For those who are just listening, okay, this is fantastic. So the video that you have when he's asking the questions, it's all of these top level spooks, and they're all sitting there. And as he starts describing who he is, they all start freaking out. Like, this is the greatest thing about it, because he hasn't actually asked the question yet, but he's just explaining who he is, and they all realize pretty quickly that he actually knows what he's talking about. And then he asks the question, and the immediate response is, who put you up to this? What the hell's the matter with you? Get him out of here. Like, just throw him out immediately. It's amazing. Brennan starts sweating. He is freaking out. He is losing his mind. They're saying, get him out of here. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That was bullshit. You know, liar, misinformation. I actually hear what you actually, if you play it and listen to the background noises, they're screaming at him as he's getting, they cutting his mic. They actually do say misinformation. Like, this was beautiful. Beautiful. Extremely well done. Excellent move by Thomas Speciale going out there. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to see, because the moment I saw that, Brennan in his, I have the face, the pissed off face here as a still on the screen. Man, what a great clip to get out there. And apparently, I'm not going to mention much more, but apparently there's more to the story. So that'll be coming out at some point in the near future, guys. So I wonder actually if it's actually been put out yet. Let me go check and take a look. I haven't looked yet. But I just wanted everybody to be aware that was going on, because that was just a great clip. Just a fantastic clip by Thomas getting that out there. I thought it was fantastic.
No, it was. As a matter of fact, Walt, I sent you a clip that many people have not seen, actually, only 5.4 thousand. And I shared it. I'll repost it so people can find it. I sent it to you in your DM. Apparently, this guy ran up on John Brennan waiting for the train, and it did not go so well for John Brennan.
Oh my God! What? How is this? I haven't seen this clip at all. Yeah.
No one has seen this. It's like 5.4 thousand views. Like, no one has seen it. And I came across it, and I'm like, holy crap, that's John Brennan. And like, this dude, like, man on the street, just like ran up on him while John Brennan's waiting for the train, and it did not go well for Brennan.
Yeah, it was a couple of the comments here. Some people were saying that he was sinking into his chair as that was happening. Yes, you are correct. Yes, he absolutely was sinking into his chair as that happened.
He was not having a good time.
He was not having a good time at all. He was very, very, very unhappy. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this here. This is, what's this guy's name? It's got his name up there in the top. Nicholas Balsey? Seriously? Is that what it's?
Ballasy. But yeah, but the guy, Nicholas Ballasy, I don't think it was actually him. Oh, it is. He actually tagged it. So this is his video. So it is Nicholas Ballasy, not Balsey. But it is Balsey. But it's Ballasy.
Well, the image here for me is kind of faded there. That's pretty funny. So let me get it here.
So I was just trying to get you to clear it up. If you saw the dossier before the election.
Read my memoir.
I've read excerpts of it.
Read my memoir?
Read the rest of it.
Yeah. Are you concerned about a possible indictment coming from DOJ? What do you think about the situation now? Anything you could say, sir. Just want to clear the record, give you a chance to talk. But did you see it, the Steele dossier, or not? That's pretty much the gist of the situation, right?
What, is he scrolling TikTok here?
You have nothing to say, sir, about it?
I don't know.
It's all on the record. my memoir.
All in my
Will
memoir.
you be involved at all in testimony before the Judiciary Committee in the coming weeks or coming months? Could you just maybe tell us what you think about the direction of the intelligence community now under Trump?
Read my memoir. Read my book, damn it. What the hell's the matter with you? Read my book. Oh, my
Dude,
God.
I can't believe this has not been seen by more people. I came across it. It wasn't sent to me. I just happened to come across it. And at the time, it was like 3,000 impressions. Like, it was nothing. I can't believe people haven't seen this. This is wild.
It's hysterical to me. And just read my book. Why are you talking to me? Read my book. Like, oh my goodness, dude. Like, you're the worst. Brennan is such a clown. Like, I mean, and I love, we haven't focused on Brennan here recently because there hasn't been anything really new. His MSNBC clips are starting to dry up because he's worried. But the last one we were talking about with him was when he was trying to explain to us that what was it he said? Letitia James was giving him confidence. And, if the beast from the Northeast is giving you your confidence to get up every morning, then, you've got real problems, dude. Like, I don't think it's going to work out too well for you.
Like, not at all. Not at all. When we pivot, I have our newfound friend, our gay communist Nazi. He has come out and said some bad things or adversarial things to JD Vance. You have
really?
to listen to this. I just sent it to you. It's
Oh, God Almighty. With
Mr. Gay Communist Nazi from Maine, Mr. Oyster Farmer. He has some thoughts on JD Vance.
Of course he does. Well, this guy. So if those don't know who we're talking about Graham Plattner from up there in Maine, who, we at first, when we heard about Graham Plattner, I won't speak for everybody else. Me personally, I told people, I was like, oh, look, a normal dude, maybe. Like, maybe he's not weird. And then it was like less than a week. It was like a week or two later. It came out at his Reddit post. He's like, I eat mushrooms and I'm a communist and I hate fascists and, I'm a gay Nazi. And like, oh, God damn it, dude. Like, why? Why did I give you a chance? Anyway, so this is this guy. And let's see what he has to say about JD Vance here. Oh, look, he looks very angry in this clip. Now, the last clip, I'll remind everybody, the last clip we played of this guy was that he was standing with, some trans dude explaining that he was a cis white man, but he understood the plight of the trans. So let's see what he has to say about JD Vance here.
I'm not JD Vance. I didn't go sit in an air-conditioned office and occasionally take a mortar round now and again. Like, I was in the infantry. Where I stand today, I would say, just unequivocal opposition to American support for the genocide in Gaza. Like, I'm not a pacifist, but I am effectively anti-war. I will not use my role in the United States Senate to send young Americans off to go through the kind of horrors and trauma that I had to go through. I will fight that tooth and nail because I don't want to get in too much to my service, but like, I'm not JD Vance. I didn't go sit in an air-conditioned office and occasionally take a mortar round now and again. Like, I was in the infantry. That was what I did over and over and over again. And I know exactly what the reality of that looks like. And I am dedicated to making sure that people do not have to go through that, not the way I went through it.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of the clip. So that's the end of the clip. I went ahead and sent you I'm a cis white male. I want to play the contrast of him being a big dog, tough alpha guy, and JD Vance said an air-conditioned room, occasionally taking mortars, and then play this with the trans man in contrast, and you tell me like how fake and retarded this guy is.
Yeah, I mean, the contrast, by the way, it hasn't shown up in DMs yet because DMs are now breaking yet again.
It's
But
there.
no, it's not showing up for me. It's the X platform that's not showing up. So you just have to wait a second for it to load. But okay, there we go. Now it's there. Now, okay, so yeah, so this is the contrast here, and this is the last clip that we were talking about when we were we played this before. But this is the cis white male.
I would love to be out protesting. I would love to be out knocking on doors. But I'll be honest, a person like me could get killed right now in this country. I believe in you, and I believe that you are a better man than you once were in the past, because I'm a better person than I was in the past. If I stand with you, will you fight with me? Will you stand up for me?
I firmly believe that every single American has the right to live the life they want to live in their own body as they see fit. I also fully recognize that as a cis white male with a bunch of tattoos and a long combat record, that I get to put myself out there in ways that other people don't. I just want to tell you, this is why I'm doing this.
So there you go. The cis white male that with a long combat record and a deep voice. I'm here to tell you that I am here to stand for the trans. I'm here for those who stand to pee. Like, I mean, just...
As I'm sitting here watching lolly porn as I shuck my oysters. And I have many tattoos. And
most of them are Nazi, by the way.
Mahogany.
And all of my tattoos happen to resemble Nazi material. Just oops, but I did cover them. I covered them up. I covered them up with henna. Yes, I covered my Nazi tattoos with henna. So just that is also a thing. Oh my God, these people are just the worst, like the absolute worst. It is amazing to me. And welcome Chris to the stage, guys. This is another one of our co-hosts here on the show. This rotating co-host. While we are before we move on here, just to talk about something else hysterical, because it is Friday. Hold on, just a second here. No, I'm not. Hold on a second here. Let me just reset the show for everybody because we're an hour in. Guys, make sure you guys share this space. This is the Political Theater. Weeknights at 9. This is Friday Night News. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our other platforms. Please follow us on other platforms. One of the problems with X is that none of the analytics actually work. So I really do appreciate the people that go and actually follow us on our other platforms so we can see real analytics. The show on this show, for those who don't, many of you guys have been with us for months and know what this show's about and have been here. The show analytics on this show used to show, 8 to 10,000 live a night and then another 5 to 6,000 on playback. In all of our other platforms, you can see that growth. You can see it. It's still there. But the X platform has started to it doesn't show us anything. So it's completely hopeless there. So make sure you guys follow us on other platforms because we're trying to get back to the point, because the intention with this show is we're going to pitch it and we're going to move it into terrestrial radio. We're going to grow the show. We're going to put it in as many places as we possibly can. The goal with this show is that we're trying to make this as big as possible. This thing is not something that we're doing. I'm just doing lightly. This is something I intend to take all the way and actually makes very successful and actually make have producers and everything else for this show. So thank you guys, everyone who does support this show. If you want to actually support me directly or Trash directly, go to our profiles. There is subscription options available. You can always check out our sponsors. The Wellness Company is the sponsor of this show now. Go to twc.health/TPT. Use code TPT at checkout for 10% off your entire order plus free shipping. Okay, guys. So let's keep moving here. Make sure you guys share the link if you guys are listening to us on the live. If you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify, give us a good review. All right, but let's keep moving here. So Mr. Cis White Male, that is a great clip because he is not J.D. Vance. And I agree, he's not. He's not J.D. Vance. Thank God that he's nothing like J.D. Vance. I mean, this guy is just the worst. He's like Jennifer Welsh, but, a cis white male.
Right. So that's what I was trying to do before we pivoted was because I want to get into JD Vance because he's leaned into the memes tonight for Halloween. And it has been epic all day from JD Vance, and I'm here for it. This is what I voted for, and I love this guy. However, Skeletard has some thoughts on JD Vance, much like our gay Nazi communist oyster shucker in Maine. Jennifer Welch, aka Skeletard, also has thoughts and has called JD Vance a failed drag queen.
What the heck?
Yes,
this woman,
right.
how is this woman? I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm going to have to listen to this.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to this. So let's see what we have here for. This is our new favorite on the show, Skeletard, or Skeletor, or Willem Dafoe's trans younger brother, or whatever you want to refer to her as. So we also came up with
the trans goblin.
The trans goblin. That's the other thing. Maybe we could just I was trying to come up with a joke with the homeless beating guy. Maybe I'll come up with something else on that. But anyway, here we go.
Human being on the planet. And then you get to JD Vance, who is a failed drag queen. You know, he is. He is a failed drag queen. He wanted to be a drag queen. He couldn't do it. He wasn't fabulous enough. He goes off to Peter Thiel's gay boot camp in Silicon Valley, and he comes out like a sociopathic, queer-eyed freak show. You know, he'd be so much cooler if he'd just come out. And, you know, I have this whole theory, Tommy, that in the MAGA movement, there's a group of DL demon queens. And I think that a lot of them are mad that they can't come out and feel pride. And so they browbeat everybody all day long. And then they get on Grindr at night and then they go do gay stuff and they wake up. But I think they think, like the Mike Johnson of it all, he's such a nut evangelical. I think he thinks, okay, I can't stop doing gay stuff. But if I make America Christian nationalists, then I'm going to curry favor with God. I grew up in a red state around all these evangelicals, and they think shit like this.
It never gets better with her. Ever. It just
always gets worse.
It's worse every time. Every time we bring up this woman, it gets worse. Like, it just, what the hell? Like, oh my goodness.
Am I the only one that sees this coming to a crashing end?
Oh, it's not far off.
No, we're Chris, we're all in agreement. Like, I can't wait for the actual crash out. It's going to be glorious, much the same as Politics Girl. These people who they're trying to prop up, and they're like, we need to find our leftist Joe Rogan. I'm telling you, they think that they've got it. And, like, keep in mind, these are like mid-wit, 23-year-old, 25-year-old something staffers, whatever. And they think that they, Slay Queen, you're going to be the next Joe Rogan. No, you're not. The more you talk, the dumber and more ridiculous that you sound. And it's not about conservatives, right? We know that, like, Jennifer Welch Skeletard is not talking to conservatives, right? We know that. It's the last-ditch effort of saving the more moderate Democrats or blue dog Democrats, vote blue no matter who, or independents. They think that they're going to be pulling them with this kind of, like, ridiculousness. They're not gonna. It's not resonating at all. And they're like, how can we find a leftist Joe Rogan? And again, I keep saying this. And I'm like, you already had a leftist Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan was a leftist and you pushed him out. And many of us on the MAGA Big Tent side said, yep, I want Joe. I like Joe. He does BJJ. He's part of UFC. Obviously, I love the guy. I love his platform. I love his podcast, all the things. Yeah, come on over here, man. Let's go to a comedy club. Let's tell some jokes. What she thinks she's doing is like a mix of like stand-up and politics and like PR spin, and it's all going to fail miserably, Chris.
Hold on a second.
Wait, hold on. I have a comment from.
You said she's 23?
No, if she's 23, if she's 23, that is horrible. No, I think he's referring to the staffers.
No, she's like 52. No, she's like 52 going on Botox and Ozempic. Like, she's a retard.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is like Desperate Housewives soon to be Crash. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out I'm predicting at some point, probably in the near future, if not a little distant future, that's going to be just hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever the case is, Skeletard is. I agree with Trash. The crash out, that's gonna be gold. That's gonna be gold, people. It's not far. It won't be long. Someone will challenge her at some point. It'll be like a Katie Porker moment. Porter. It's definitely Porker. It's Porker. It's Porker. But so we got a couple comments I thought was great here. So Shelly Silk says she makes Howard Stern look somewhat sane. Yes, actually, very funny, but very accurate. I mean, she like Howard Stern. This woman could be. She is essentially what Howard Stern used to be. She's trying to be as funny as him, but she's not. She's just atrocious. Like, I mean, she's just atrocious.
Okay. All right. So, Walt, on that, I want you to picture Skeletard here, and I want to take like this tight curl perm. / Soul Glow, and put the dark hair on her, put the sunglasses on her, put a Sirius XM badge below her. Would you recognize the difference? I don't think you would.
Oh my goodness, dude! I just love this. Everything, but every bit of it is just. She's just the worst. we're getting a lot of really interesting characters that are showing up now. We've got the gay communist in Maine. We've got Skeletard. We've got Politics Girl. Like, who's next? I mean, we moved past the era of the Hog. Okay, like we had David Hogg. We had Sticks for Arms. Like we had David Hogg. He was pretty entertaining. I liked David Hogg. He was very funny. I liked making fun of him. We also had. We had Gore Light, Olivia Giuliana, who, she waited a decision to run for office, and she decided that she was too heavily positioned to do so. So she didn't do that. And that was also around the same time that it found out that she looks exactly like Shrek. That was a very similar time period.
It's a very weighted, heavy decision that Olivia Giuliana made.
Yes, very, very heavy. I mean, she was. It was almost as heavy as the decision she weighed about flipping to Ozempic. That was around the same time period.
Yeah, give or take. Stop at the gas station burritos there, Olivia Giuliana, as you speak out to men.
Stops at Buc-ee's, picks up a whole brisket, not like a partial, like the whole thing. She just gets the whole slab, dude. Like she doesn't stop at just the one.
Jesus Christ! Let me get the half. The half what? Like a half pound? No. The half cattle. Oh, you want to like feed people for like 137 days? Okay, got you.
No, it'd be like a day, just a day, an hour, a couple hours. Anyway, okay, so we can continue, but I'm very interested to see what the level of crash out's going to be from Skeletard, dude. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be fantastic. That's going to be, I don't know. I give it 6 months. 6 months before she says something so atrocious to somebody that actually challenges her, and then she just melts down as a response to that. It's going to be great.
In fairness, though, congratulations to the Democrats for finding somebody to have a podcast that's not 15.
True. Yeah, that was the other wave that they had, right? They had, they had no one, so they brought in a bunch of people like Harry Sisson and all these people, and they acted as if they were, somehow going to be the voices that people would take seriously. Like, I still love that Harry Sisson, like, he posts stuff, like, every now and then is just like, MAGA is terrified by this. Like, brother, there ain't nobody that is terrified by anything you've ever done. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I know someone convinced you that you're some level of masculine or something, but I promise you they lied to your face. Like, they just lied to you. Nothing that you have ever done is very interesting or masculine. Jacktron, you have your hand up. Go right ahead.
So I already see that Harry Sisson is responding to the JD Vance Halloween costume.
Oh, really? Already? That didn't take long.
Yeah. No, hold on. Let me just go find it real quick. But in the meantime, just go back to what you were talking about.
Okay. Well, I actually do want to pull up and show people the JD Vance, the costume that he's wearing. If you guys haven't seen this, I'm going to put this on the screen because it's fantastic. It's just fantastic. Like, I love it here. Okay. Just to be clear. This is JD Vance's Halloween costume. He did the meme. He did the whole meme. Like, he actually put a TikTok out of him spinning just like the original meme. Like, it's great stuff, guys. Great stuff. We live in the greatest timeline. I think it's hysterical. And I like that they're leaning into this stuff. Like, here's one thing I do enjoy about this, and I've seen this not just from JD Vance, but I've actually seen it from a number of people in the administration, all putting on, like, Halloween costumes and stuff. People are having fun again. And I like that. I like that people are having fun. People are joking. People are having fun. They're making fun of each other. They're enjoying making fun of each other. That is good. That is a good thing. This is good. Just seeing this sort of stuff, and people are, oh my God, what is he doing? How is he not taking it so serious? Like, you don't have to be so friggin' serious all the time. Okay, like, it can be funny sometimes. Okay, you also work for Trump, so Trump has probably made fun of everybody in the room worse than anybody else have ever made fun of them. So like, working for Trump has to be just like, if you don't have some sort of comic relief part of it, you just lose your mind. Like, I think that's probably true.
All right, so I found the Harry Sisson tweet. He said JD Vance, after he and Trump kicked cancer patients off their health insurance and took food away from their children, : and then there's the JD Vance meme.
Oh my goodness. Yes. We are starving the children to death, and JD Vance can't have fun on Halloween because of that. How dare he? How dare you? How dare you have fun on any day of the year? You're never allowed to have fun of any kind. These people. This is what I'm talking about, though. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The left can't have fun. They're no fun of any kind for anybody. How dare you have fun? How dare you? You must be miserable, anxious, worried and convinced that the sun monster will eat the planet at any moment. And that's the only way that you can live your life. And that's the only acceptable way. You must be miserable. You must think these things are happening every minute of every single day. And if you don't, well, then, oh my God, you're just, you're one of those maggots, one of those maggot conservatives. I mean, it's just these people that like no fun. You can't have any fun at all. It's just, it's amazing to me that we live like this. Like, how exhausting must it be to live on the left where your entire existence is miserable all the time? You have to be upset. You have to be anxious and angry and furious constantly. Like it would drive me nuts. I don't understand it. Like it's the same thing like with their messaging. Like imagine being part of like someone like the Abigail Spanberger team where, okay, I'm going to put a tweet out. Make sure you run it by the consultant 6 times. Make sure they test it with 4 different audiences before you say anything at all. And then make sure you put it through the AI to make sure it's not offensive to anybody. That's probably what they do like every day. It's got to be like ridiculously horrible to do that. I mean, just excruciating detail to have to deal with that stuff.
Well, yeah, but not only that, and then I actually like get anything across the finish line, which is kind of the point, right? Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And again, nothing moves the ball down the field. No policies get changed. Nothing gets changed in the country at all. And it's just like this slop cycle of the same thing over and over and over again. And here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say essentially is this. The more that you are a slave to your donations and the consultant class, the less that any ball gets advanced down the field. Instead, what it becomes is nothing more than like a slop farm of like just re-astroturfing other ideas and everything else. And there's no real ideas. There's nothing being discussed and there's nothing being changed. The moment that you change is the moment you challenge that status quo. And a lot of us have been trying to change that status quo and challenge that for some time. And until we get there, I don't know what else to do with it. And I'm just not, I'm not interested in business as usual. I think that we probably would do well in actually forcing and enforcing change and actually kind of weighing an influence not only at the local and state level, but then ultimately the federal level, and not allow these people anywhere near politics again. Politics should be boring. It should be stodgy. It should be a pain in the ass. But regulation or deregulation should be swift. It should be quick. And then you can move the ball down the field. And that's not what we're being represented by. That's not that's not who we're being represented by or whom. And I think that we need to change that and change it very quickly. And the confrontational type actions, like we saw with John Brennan down at the subway station, that were sung by Thomas Speciale when he was confronting John Brennan as well. And he just lost his shit because it wasn't business as usual. The same reason that people like Abigail Spanberger, as an example, she's holding onto her podium and like scratching her notebook because she's being challenged by Winsome Sears by simple questions, and she refuses to answer, looks forward, grits her teeth, and moves forward, and hopes her basement strategy works because the consultants and the donors will come in and make sure that that happens. That's, I think, what they're really afraid of when it comes to like America First MAGA stuff. And then there's also the people who try to assume control of that type of movement, a more right-wing financial populist movement that embraces crypto, that embraces many decentralization, because that's what we need. We need decentralization with security. We need it with our financial system. We need to break this thing loose. So otherwise, we just play in the game of more of the same.
I agree with that. Jacktron, go ahead and jump in whenever, dude. It's Friday night. We're just kind of hanging out. So
I just don't want to interrupt. But I found this this post according to NBC, some ICE agents were riding around Los Angeles wearing Momo and Chucky masks. DHS responded, "Happy Halloween."
God, I love these people.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure who Momo is. I'm guessing it's the only Momo I know is from The Last Airbender.
I don't know who
No,
Momo is either. Momo the clown?
nose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing though. I love that Happy Halloween is their only response. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff right there. That's the good stuff right there. I love it. Oh man. What a great
Speaking
timeline.
of which, should we discuss about Halloween in terms of its culture? Like, like if people, because, there is a movement to want to cancel the holiday.
Well, they've wanted to do that for many years, and I've heard this argument before about the concept that Halloween is somehow satanic and blah blah blah. Like the problem with the people that do that is like, okay, whatever, dude, just shut up. Like, I mean, like the problem with this, like it's an old argument. It's not like something new. Like I remember this even when I was growing up. There were some people that thought that and used to say, well, we don't celebrate Halloween because we don't celebrate satanic. Like, guys, Halloween in America is a national thing that is a national tradition. Trick or treating is fantastic. Kids love it. It has been something that has existed in this country forever. Like, just why do you want to be mad about it? Like, just like let it be a fun little thing that we do in America. Like, it's a good tradition and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, just because you think it has some sort of satanic representation is ridiculous. Okay, let's not take everything again. Let's not take it all so seriously. I think it'll be okay. Like, I mean, just having kids run around wearing, ghost costumes and whatnot is fun. Okay, it's a good family event that families do together. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, I did see some stuff about, there was a story that came out earlier this week about apparently some liberal leftists on TikTok were talking about how they're going to lace some of their Halloween candy with fentanyl. So that way, when their MAGA kids showed up at their door, they were going to give those kids laced fentanyl candy. And I hope you're fucking arrested is the only thing, my response to that. Like, what the hell is the matter with you, you sick person? Like, you're going to poison children because you disagree with their politics, like, or disagree with their parents' politics, rather, because their parents are probably the ones that are, if they put on some MAGA uniform or something. I mean, what would even be MAGA be? Like, here's the other issue I have with this generally is because I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kids out there, some young boys that want to be dressed up as the president. Okay. He's Trump. Trump is a huge figure. He is the president of the United States. If a kid wants to dress up as Trump for Halloween, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's okay. You can let him do that. That's fine. It's a good thing. He's looking at the president, the leader of our country, and you're talking about, oh, I want to poison these kids. Like, you are just a nasty person. Okay, like you're a nasty, disgusting person for ever even thinking that. And I hope every single one of those people got a visit from the police because of that kind of comment. Like, that's you deserve it, really.
Yeah, no, he took it down completely, and apparently this person was part of like the furry community. Like, it was a whole thing. I saw it. I'm pretty sure it was an S post. I'm pretty sure that they weren't actually attempting to do that. However, we do have many cases where people were trying to do that and attempting to do that, and typically they were foreign influence on kids that were in like Discord or Roblox and like these kind of like militant accelerationists where they were giving them recipes for ricin, and that was a serious threat. This one I saw it was like Kit Kats and pills. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're not. I don't know. I feel like my parents inspected my candy when I was a kid, and that's been years, right? So like,
right,
it was probably an S post, and they should probably actually be visited, mainly arrested for making threats, and just end that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I mean that's how it should be. Just end that stuff, dude. Like, come on. Like, what? Why are you just like? Why do you have to make everything so absurd like that? Like, just it's gross. Really, it's just gross. Like, there's you shouldn't even have it. Like, there was a friend of ours, or a friend of mine on here, Evan Barker. If you guys don't know who she is, she's a great writer, commentator, former Democrat operative type, and she said the same sort. She said something similar, but this is a much different kind of take on this, obviously. She was saying that, if I see anybody that's dressed up as dead Charlie Kirk tonight, I'm going to approach them and tell them how disgusting that is, which is good. Yeah, good. You should do that. We live in a civil society, okay? And if you want to live in a civil society, you should enforce some sort of standards, and you shouldn't allow that kind of disgusting behavior. Like, I mean, that should just be, there should be nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That should just be how that is. I see nothing wrong with that, and that is a good comment, and I agree with it 100%. Yes, if you showed up dressed on Halloween as dead Charlie Kirk, that's gross, and you deserve to be mocked and shamed for it.
And again, do I think you should be arrested for wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom T-shirt with blood going down it from your neck? No. But I think you should be mocked and ridiculed, and I think that you should bear the wrath of other people not being okay with what you're dressed up as. You literally can pick. You use it specifically. Sorry, I was getting a phone call at 7:30 at night on a Friday. What the hell? you can do whatever you want. You can wear whatever costume you want, but that doesn't free you from ridicule and mockery. And you could have chosen anything else, but you chose it specifically to get a rise out of people because you are ghoulish and demon by behavior. So, like, you deserve all the mockery that you get. I don't want that person arrested for wearing that costume. However, I'm not responsible whether or not you get mocked and ridiculed in public for being such a political loser that you would do something like that just to get a rise out of somebody. Like,
Yeah.
you literally can do that any other way.
Well, so
If
speaking
you
of
have no personality, yeah.
speaking of mockery, though, the White House actually had some fun stuff today. So I don't know if you guys saw this. The White House itself had a video that they put out for Halloween here. So I want to make sure I play this for everybody because this is pretty great.
Your nightmare marathon rolls on. Scary Movie 3 continues.
I lost my faith. A terrible night.
Your faith will return, just as sure as the sun will rise.
Sounds like a long shot.
Look, there's always an explanation for all this so-called phenomena.
Maybe you're right. It's probably just reasons.
And when I get through with them, I doubt you'll be seeing anything strange on this farm for a long time. We'll see. You all right, Tom? Get some rest.
So for those who are just listening to this and you're not watching the show, what this video is there. It's like a trailer going through this, and it keeps panning over to Hakeem Jeffries, and the sombrero on his head continues to get bigger every time they pan back to him, and they keep saying the sombrero will get bigger. And the comment from the White House is "Happy Halloween, Rep. Jeffries," and they tag him. Open the government, or the sombrero will keep getting bigger, and they put a little ghost emoji on there. Fantastic stuff. Love it. Like, this is hysterical stuff. This is the fun stuff. Like, it's a good day for this kind of stuff. I enjoy it. I love watching them just continuously mock Jeffries, so it's great. Go ahead, Jacktron.
Oh, I was gonna say that there was that was the video I was gonna bring up. I thought you were gonna play that first video that they put out.
No, I don't know if there's another one that they put out for Halloween, but I did enjoy this Jeffries video. That was very funny. Very funny stuff. Very funny stuff. Okay, so anyway, let's move on here to, I want to go back into talking a little bit about what was going on over in Virginia, because today was very entertaining in Virginia, obviously, as we are now approaching the final days before the election. By the way, next week, a couple announcements for the show. Monday, I will be traveling, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be on the show that day. I will be on, for those who are aware of John Fredericks John Fredericks' radio show. I will be on John Fredericks Monday on his bus tour that he's doing. So I'm probably going to be on that show in the morning. So that'll be the first thing that's happening on Monday. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the show that evening. If I am, it'll probably be audio only. Just so you guys are aware, I might be able to do a traveling set. I'll see if I can set something up. If not, then it will be audio only. But we'll still have the show 9 p.m. on Monday. Now, Tuesday night, I will actually be at the Winsome event for the final day of the campaign for the victory rally, which I'm actually convinced, by the way. I have done a ton of research over the past couple days here talking about this, looking into this, trying to figure out whether or not this is actually going to happen, whether or not we're going to win. And I looked at some data today that makes me think that we're going to win. And I'll tell you why. There's a new poll that just came out from Trafalgar. Now, the overall poll put Winsome Sears at 40. It was 43 or something to 46 or something like that. It was like a 4-point margin on it. But the big thing is, I'm not really paying attention to that because the number itself, the raw number, is not what I'm paying attention to. It's actually the numbers within it that were more interesting because it showed that 25% of the black vote was going to go to Winsome in that poll. Now, if that happens, if Winsome gets 25 to 30% of the black vote in Virginia, she's going to win. Okay, and that explains to you why Barack Obama's on the ground in Virginia. And by the way, I figured this out today as well. Barack Obama isn't just posting videos about Spanberger and not just like having campaign stump speeches. No, he is outworking the crowds. He is at canvassing events. Okay, he is at canvass launch events. So again, anybody who's sitting here claiming that the Democrats have Virginia all locked up and that it's the end, it's over, it doesn't matter, you're just wrong. You're just wrong, okay? I don't buy it for a second. I do not buy that for a second. I think that Winsome Sears is actually leading, and I know she's working really hard, and I know she's on the ground, and I know a lot of other people are working really hard too. Saturday, tomorrow morning, I am flying down to Virginia, and I will be there all the way through Wednesday. And I'm going to be doing as much as I can to get out the vote. I'm also going to be, since you guys are listening to this show and you are loyal listeners of this show, I'm going to give this little nugget here. There's going to be some very interesting content coming out about Abigail Spanberger while I am down there. I intend to be making sure that she's having just a wondrous time on her final days of the bus tour. Let's just put it that way. So that's going to be coming out this weekend. So keep an eye on that. If you're in Virginia and you want to get involved for the last couple days, please send me a message. Okay, I'm going to be on the ground. I'm going to be doing every single thing I can. Any events that I can attend. If you guys need somebody at the event, if you need a speaker at the event, you are always welcome to message me. I'm going to be everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to be as many places as I possibly can while I'm down there. Another friend of the show and politically savvy who also works with me on a lot of different things. She is going to be also in Virginia as well, and we're going to be on the ground Monday and Tuesday. We will be in Virginia doing everything we can trying to get the vote out in Virginia. So if you guys want to help, if you want to get involved, you want to do the final bit, you want to be part of the final push, message me. I'm more than happy to work with you. I'm more than happy to help you. And if you want to be part of the great spam chase of 2025 and you're curious what that is, message me to find out more details. Anyway, so we can move on here because I do want to talk about some of the stuff that Spanberger did today. So today there was a new video that came out, and this is Spanberger in her, in rare form, which is I don't know, just typical form for her. She's terrible every time she speaks, but this is a new clip that came out today. And if those who have actually been paying attention to what Spanberger's messaging is, her messaging essentially has been along the lines of, I'm going to do whatever I can for the government workers that work for the federal government in Virginia. That's what I'm going to do. Now, the one way that you'd be able to do that would be, how would you assist federal workers? Okay, how would you do that? You would probably have to work with, I don't know, the federal government. I think that's kind of necessary, isn't it? I think that would be kind of mandatory to be able to do that. You'd have to work with the federal government if you intend to assist the federal workers that work in Virginia. So which means you'd have to work with the president, right? Well, listen to Abigail Spanberger's response when that very question was asked to her earlier today.
You position yourself as a consensus builder, someone who works across the aisle. Would you work with President Trump on areas like job creation?
I think that, you don't work with the arsonist who burns down the house to rebuild it. And in this particular case, the individual who's responsible for an absolute attack on the federal workforce is not the right person to help rebuild our economy.
You position yourself.
So you heard it right. The federal workforce, the assault on the federal workforce, the person to fix that problem is not the arsonist. So no is the answer to the question, really. That's what she meant to say. No, I won't work with Trump. So there you go, federal workers. She is not going to work with Trump to help you with your jobs at all. In fact, she sounds like she's going to work the opposite direction. She's going to work directly against President Trump. So why on earth would he assist her? Why would he help the federal workers in Virginia if she's not going to work with him? Sounds like she just threw you under the bus. So if you're a federal worker in the Nova area that works for the federal government, if she wins, you're screwed. She's going to fight Trump every step of the way, which means she's not going to help you get your job. She's not going to help you fight back to get into your positions. She's not going to look out for your families. She doesn't care. Trump's bad. Didn't you know? So Trump's super bad. He's the most bad, evil, bad person that's ever batted. So, you got to love it. It's completely counter to every bit of her messaging that she's put out so far. I thought it was incredible. It's just incredible stuff. She has such bad TDS that she cannot even put it aside for a moment so that she can actually work with the administration to help get these people their jobs back if she were to win. So there you go. If you're a federal worker, you heard it here. You heard it here. She has zero intention of helping you. Zero. She's not going to work with the federal government at all because Trump is an arsonist and he's destroyed the federal workforce. So you got to love this stuff. Amazing comments from Abigail Spanberger. She clearly is just killing it. Everybody knows that she is leading by 28 million points. She's gonna win. She's gonna win so good that she's never won so much before. No one's ever seen such winning before from the Democrats. It's such a joke. It's such a joke. I have been talking to people every single day. I've been calling people in Virginia, and I'm trying to get a sentiment. Just trying to figure out what the sentiment is on the ground. I'm trying to get as much information as I can out of Virginia, trying to figure out what's happening down there. And I'll tell you right now, that the comment that I get more than anything is that people on the Winsome team are all in great spirits. They're all happy. They're all we think we're going to win. We're going to do this. We're actually going to make it. Now, for those who don't know anything about campaigns, majority of the time, the campaign that's having fun in the last push of the campaign, usually those people are the ones that are winning. Usually the ones that are in good moods and good spirits. If you're running a losing campaign, you're all miserable. Okay, you're all miserable all the time. And Abigail Spanberger, every time she speaks, looks like she's about to keel over. I mean, she's so nervous that she might say something that's bad because she can't speak. That every time she talks, she's so nervous. Like she's complete a wreck every time she says anything. So I don't believe for even a moment that this campaign is a winning campaign. I think that the staff, we even heard earlier this week, or maybe it's this last week, actually, I think that the story broke that one of the staffers is like, I don't even really believe in this woman. I don't really like her. I feel like a sales representative. I mean, does that sound like winning messaging to you? Your own staff doesn't believe in you. Okay, so if your own staff doesn't believe in you, you're not convincing anybody else. That's what my point is. My point is simple on that if you can't even get your own staff to 100%, 100% back you in every single way, then you don't have a winning messaging because your own people don't know how to represent you because they don't believe in you. So I don't think it's going to work. I don't think they have a chance. I think that this is much closer than any of the polls have been predicting. I'm also putting another prediction out there that this is something that I've mentioned before. If you go look at the poly market or these big betting market things that started showing up, they became really popular during during Trump's election. If you go look at that, those things show a 97% chance that Abigail Spanberger is going to win. And same thing for Mamdani, by the way. Now, the reason I bring it up is because those betting markets were very popular during Trump's election, and they were actually a good messaging piece that were used by the Trump campaign because they started trending in the direction of Trump. Now, what people forget about that is that the reason that they started trending so heavily towards Trump at one point is because there's one dude, some dude in France that was like some finance guy who put like $40 million on Trump or something like that. And by the way, like that guy had a huge payout. Like he just crushed it. But it started pushing those direction because he was putting so much money into it because he thought he was going to win, and he did win, obviously. So the deal is that those betting markets started being seen as a messaging tool. So the Democrats this is so typical of them, by the way. You go look at what's going on. Does anyone think that 97% chance is a realistic odd on a campaign that is showing within 4-point polling? Okay. Does anyone even remotely believe that? Like, does anyone think that's realistic at all? It's not realistic. And the reason you know it's not realistic is because they also have the exact same thing for Mamdani. Mamdani has 97-3. And they also, this is how I noticed it really, is that there's also a separate betting market that shows how much is their margin of victory going to be. Okay. Like it's hysterically fake. But here's the other part about this. And this is something that came out a couple days ago. And the New York Post has an article that came out, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, showing that they looked into the numbers for Mamdani in New York and found out that there was a bunch of foreign money that had poured into the betting markets, pushing it in one direction. Okay? So that is new information, which tells you something very interesting because they found out that it was a Chinese donor that did that. So Chinese money is pushing down Mamdani's chances. Now, who else do we know that has been taking Chinese money? None other than Abigail Spanberger. She took a $50,000 donation from a Chinese CCP-funded guy. He is literally a member of the CCP. So what are the chances that Mamdani and Abigail Spanberger both have the exact same betting odds and the exact same betting setup? I don't think that's coincidence, people. So in reality of this, what my thought is, and my bet on this, by the way, I did bet on it. I personally bet on it, that I think that on the day of the election, those polls, those ridiculous, like lopsided polls are going to swap drastically. I think they're going to swap drastically. I think they're going to shoot back up to center or whatever like standard polling is currently. I think that's what's going to happen on those days. That's my prediction on that. So that's a prediction I'll put out on here. I've already told a couple people about it, but I think that's is something that's going to happen. I think they're going to pull their money out because they don't want to lose their money if they were to lose, but they want to make sure they keep those odds set up like that so that it looks like that there's just zero chance for anybody to win other than her because everybody believes a 97-3 margin. Like, I mean, like, yeah, that's so realistic. Everyone believes it. I swear, it's very believable. Everyone knows that, you know, when you have a very low volume market that is, which these things are actually live markets, like that's how they operate, but it has very low volume. So if someone has enough money, they can just dump it into it and it won't matter. So they can just dump as much money into it. And you can put crypto in it too, by the way. So it could be, you know, somebody that has a shitload of crypto, then they wanted to push the odds in one direction. So they just buy a bunch of it and it doesn't really matter to them. Okay. So like, it doesn't really matter to them if they're using it because it'll just sit there and keep the odds down. And then on the day of the election, they can pull it right back out and it'll go back up to mid-length. So I think that's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I mean, I just don't think so. I don't think that anybody on the ground that I have talked to, and I've got connections all the way up to the top of leadership in Virginia, I don't think anybody is of the mind that we're losing. And that's very interesting to me. You know, I would think that at some point someone would believe, oh, there's no chance, there's no way, it's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But I haven't heard that from anybody, really. So, somebody would have some other kind of messaging, and that's just not what I'm hearing. Okay, Jack Tron. What else do you have for us here? You sent me a bunch of stuff earlier. What is on the list that you have here? Something else that is interesting that we haven't covered yet?
Well, there was a couple things I saw. There was this Wanda Sykes saying that she prefers not to hire white men at that women's empowerment summit. There's also the clips, the Joe Rogan clips of Elon Musk that I sent.
Oh, yeah. I do actually want to cover some of this stuff because I haven't seen the interview. So apparently, guys, by the way, Elon Musk was on with Joe Rogan this morning. Correct, Jack Tron?
Yes.
Okay. So is this the one, the Democrats one, Elon Democrats? Is this? That must be the one that I wanted to see because I actually saw this clip earlier and wanted to check this out. So apparently, this is his comment on the Democrats on Joe Rogan earlier. I do want to go watch this interview. I'll probably watch it tomorrow, but I'm going to check this out. So let's see what he has to say here. I haven't even heard it yet.
The reason you have the standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, like, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. And the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
Importing voters.
That is literally what they're doing.
People to only vote for them and overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy.
So I like that he's bringing this up here because there's actually a comment that I was making regularly a couple months ago. And this is after we started looking at the numbers and showing that the illegals were starting to be able to vote in a number of places, even though they claimed that they weren't. And then we saw that the amount of the aid that was given to illegals, like we saw this when Doge was operating, right? The amount of aid that was going to illegals, when there was a ton of money that was moved from FEMA to pay for illegals to stay in hotels in New York and all this stuff, right? So what I said then was that my read on it was that the Democrat Party was a criminal enterprise that was designed to import people to vote and then pay them to vote for Democrats. That's what the strategy was. And that's what the Biden administration was. The entire Biden administration was a criminal enterprise designed to import people from foreign countries and then pay them to vote for Democrats. That's what I think they were. And Elon Musk essentially just said the exact same thing. So, and I can probably go find my tweet when I said that. That was months ago when I was talking about that. But I mean, I think it's a pretty honest read. It's pretty obvious that that's what they're doing. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. The voters don't mean anything to them. And to them, all that matters is making sure that they stay in power. And however they have to do, whatever they had to do to accomplish that, they will do it. So I actually, completely agree with what he just said there. And the amount of illegals that are in this country, no one really knows, even though, by the way, J.D. Vance mentioned this the other night. If you're a listener of this show, you probably have heard me mention before that we think that it is about 50 million illegals in this country. That's the number that we put it at. And that's from, my family built the modern immigration system. My father built the modern immigration system in this country. And that's why the numbers we came to on that is internal numbers from the highest levels of our government. They were trying to figure out how many were here for a specific program that George Bush was trying to push out. So, that program, they came to a number that in 2003, 2004, there was 23 to 28 million illegals in the country. And that was in 2003. Okay. So then take us to now, right? 1 million a year plus another 10 million when Joe Biden was in office puts you at roughly 50 million. So that's the number. That's the real number, at least. That's the number that makes the most sense. So that when J.D. Vance said that the other night, he said the estimates, he's seen 25, 30 to upwards of 50. But the one thing I will tell you is I wish that J.D. Vance would hear from someone like me or anybody else that I could get it to him with the your government knows the actual number. You just need to make sure that you get the right people to sit down so that they tell you, because they do know it. They came up with it before. Okay, so you can probably get it to be done again, and you could actually get an accurate number. That's the real question, is what is the number? But I think that if you actually had the right people sit down, you could probably figure it out. But I say 50.
No, and I completely agree with what you and Elon are saying, and I think there's some more proof of this. So there's this post that came out today by Matt Van Swol that said there was a left-wing group in North Carolina that was exposed for offering to pay $100 per person to vote for Democrats. They said, "I can't afford my electric bill. How long till I get the money after I vote? Each candidate will pay you $100 for your vote." And then he's got some screenshots of some of these text messages.
Wow. I hadn't seen that yet. Will you send that to me?
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, okay. Let me pull this up on the screen so I can look at this, because that's pretty amazing. I'm going to take a look here.
Well, yeah, because usually before I edit the stuff, I send it to you first.
Oh, wait. You sent it to me, is it a clip that's talking about this?
No, it's a screenshot. It's a screenshot of these text messages.
Oh! Send it to me on Twitter DM, dude, because I don't know. I'd have to go through a bit.
I sent it to you on Twitter DM.
Okay, well, I'm not seeing it in here. That's well, maybe it's all the way up here. Okay, yeah, 11 hours ago. Okay, now I see it now. So this is from yesterday. Okay, so 11 hours ago. Holy crap! Left-wing group in North Carolina just exposed for paying $100 per person to vote for Democrats. I can't afford my electric bill. Wow, this is interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's a huge story right there. I didn't even see this yesterday. Crazy stuff. Yeah, so guys, go check out Matt Van Swol. If you guys don't follow him, you should. Matt Van Swol is a good guy. He became notable after Hurricane Helene in North Carolina, and he was one of the biggest advocates for it. And since then, he was essentially a very liberal person for many, many years. In Hurricane Helene, because the Biden administration ignored all of North Carolina and let their cities drown, and then didn't send any FEMA help because they had already spent all the money on illegal immigrants. Essentially, that's what happened there. And as a result of that, Matt became a radicalized conservative, and since then has been very entertaining to watch because he has just gone so far into this stuff. It's very funny because you can see the transformation of realizing that all this stuff is ridiculous and that they've been lying to you for years. And he just has those realizations on a regular basis. Great account to follow. Highly recommend him. So that's at Matt Van Swol, Matt_Van SWOL. Make sure you guys go check out that account if you don't follow it already. Guys,
well, I mean,
go ahead.
Walter, it's not just that they were giving the money to illegal aliens. If you remember that there were those stories coming out about FEMA that they were actively making sure that they ignored any survivors or victims of these floods if they were conservatives. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I mean, that was a big story. That was the story that essentially, if you had Trump, logos or anything on your property, that you were instructed by leadership in FEMA to ignore that property, and that was exposed. And yes, that was happening. They approved that was happening, and the person was and I think the one person that they fired like some like mid-level staffer or something, as if that wasn't some top-level decision. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, they were just the full. That was just the full guy. Of
Yeah.
course, it was systemic. That is why I think that FEMA should be abolished.
Listen, I think FEMA, the way that FEMA should operate is the way that Christy Nome mentioned it a while back. She was talking about the way that it should operate is it should just be a support system. And it should be. That's how it really should work. It should just be a support system for the local groups, for local state governments. That's how FEMA should operate. So, I think that would be a much better option. The states already know how to use their resources better than anybody else. They know their areas. They know their states. That'd be much better if we just did it that way. And I think that would be the smart move for FEMA if that's the way we move forward with it. Okay, so guys, make sure you guys share this space. This is Political Theater. By the way, guys, we are at 11 o'clock, so if you guys want to come up and join the show, you are welcome to request, and you guys can come up and ask questions. You guys can have comments. You can make any statements you want, and if you disagree with me, you're more than welcome to come up here and argue with me about whatever you want to argue with me about. But you're welcome to come up here and join the show. Just go to x.com and make sure you go to @WCDispatch and request to come up on the show. If you're listening on YouTube, Rumble, wherever you guys may be listening, the only way you can join the show is the call-in version is essentially an X space. So if you guys want to join the show, you just go to x.com, go to @WCDispatch, and you can find the show, and we will bring you up on the stage, and you can talk about whatever you want. So feel free to come up here if you have comments. Obviously, I do read all of the comments from the show and all the different streams. I try to follow all of them and listen to all of them and read all of them throughout it. It is very difficult, but I do that. So make sure you guys show up on here if you have anything to say. You're welcome to request and come up here. And then we're going to hang out for probably another 30-ish minutes before we shut down for the night, and then I will see you guys again on Monday. So that's what we'll do for the end of the show. But outside of that, happy Halloween, guys. I hope everyone had a good day today. I hope you guys, if you had kids, I hope you guys went out trick-or-treating. I hope you had a good evening, and I hope you guys had a great week before we got here. I think it was another week on the Political Theater, so thank you guys for being here. Make sure you guys share the link, and we're going to hang out here and just hang out for the last little bit of the show. You're welcome to come up if you want to. If you have requests, and there's already one coming up, so I'll bring up Jess. And anybody else, if you want to request, you are welcome to do so. Okay.
All right. Well, Walter, there is another, if in the spirit of the Halloween, there's another kind of fun little topic. I sent you this other video of this CNN clip, and it's talking about here it is. Why do paranormal, demonic horror movies have such a strong hold on our culture? It's, they go into things like the Conjuring movies. It's only about, I think, 41-second clip. It's in the folder if you want to just play that real quick and maybe discuss it a little. Just thought it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I've got it here. Let me check it out.
Elaborate. Bradley, I'm putting you on the spot. Are you actually a horror fan at all?
Oh, no, I am not a horror fan. I mean, they just keep coming back to the box office like Michael Myers, though. You know? I think the original Halloween is the scariest I can do. That's a scary movie, but it's nothing like what I see a lot of at the box office today, which is, I think, ties to the rise of the religious nuns, actually, that there's more Conjuring-type, paranormal activity-type movies coming out now. And I think as the kind of spiritual life and mysticism of our society declines, there's inevitably going to be kind of something that simulates that in our own culture, and I think that's why we see these types of...
That was a very interesting line of bullshit from a CNN host. I'm not even entirely sure what he said. He was just kind of ranting about, culture and very the rise of horror movies. Has there been some uptick or something that I missed about horror movies? Is there more of them than there used to be? I feel like it's about the same amount that it always has been. I don't know.
Well, I think, I mean, there has been uptick, but I think I would attribute that more just because that there's just more money in the industry because, back then you just had Universal, 20th Century Fox, but now you have more companies like Blumhouse coming out with all these different films. But when he's talking about the nuns, that yes, there is the Conjuring series has taken a huge part in this rise of horror, which of course is it's actually kind of pretty anti-woke if you want me to know the truth, because it definitely makes you even out of fear, it scares you into wanting to go back to church. Because
wait a minute, I think I remember the Conjuring movies. That's about that's a Catholic-based movie, isn't it? I remember someone was telling me I needed to watch it. I think actually my priest told me I need to go watch that. The father of my church told me I need to.
The Conjuring is about the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
Yeah, 'cause I remember when I first watched those movies, I'm just like, okay, I need to go to church. It's like, no. It's like I see these scary scheme demons like scare the shit out of me. The Annabelle does. Like I need to go to church. I need to cleanse myself.
I love it. All right, so we do have some hands up here on stage. Jess, you came up first. By the way, guys, if you want to request, you're welcome to do so. So go ahead, Jess. If you have a comment, question, anything you want to say, go ahead.
Oh, I think it was Omar.
Well, you were up here before him, but Omar, go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Hello, brother Walter. How are you doing, bro?
What's up, Omar?
Yeah, good, bro. How's everything with you, bro?
I'm good. You got a comment or a question? I mean, just anything to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm having a question like, why is it that some white people don't like black people, bro?
Why is it that some white people don't like black people? Is that what you said?
Yeah, bro.
I would say that generally the concept would be that there are racist people that exist. And that's just something that has existed for all of humans' history and all of human existence. Whether or not that is a prominent thing now, that is much, much, much less than it has been at any point in human history ever. So that would be the only comment on that, really.
But, bro, when you look at it, bro, we are all human beings, working on the same earth, bro. I don't think, that should be a part of the humanity, bro.
Well, I mean,
After
like
all,
the idea that you're going to eliminate something that has existed for all of human history back to the point where we were literally living in tribes that killed each other for like the differences in nose rings that they wore. Like I'd like to say that this is going to go away, but it's not going to. You're not going to eliminate a part of human nature. What you can do is make it so it's not socially and so like a part of general society, which today it isn't. I mean, it's really not. I mean, like you can. There's no real argument to say that there is widespread general racism that exists, at least in America. Okay, like I don't know about other countries, but I don't live in other countries, so I don't really care. But in general, in America, that is not a widespread thing, and is not a massive problem anymore. It is not the 1950s. That stuff doesn't really exist on a wide scale anymore.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, and you're saying something which is right, bro, and I agree with you. But, sometimes, I'm from Africa, bro, the Gambia. Sometimes I meet with white people, sometimes in the live stream, bro. But I never understand this reason, bro. That's the problem, I mean, sometimes I'm sad, bro. Why is this happening to the world, bro?
Well, human
more.
nature exists, unfortunately, and then humans are not generally nice to each other. If you didn't know that, we live in a fallen world that is just generally not nice people. Humans are not nice to each other. The only way that you can fix the problem is you can try and inculcate good values into people and take it into the point where you have a society that upholds good values where they all treat each other equally, which is what our Constitution says, which is why we try to uphold those values in this country. Okay, Jess, go ahead. You've got your hand up. Anybody else, if you want to come up and join the show, make sure you guys request to come up. We've got another about 25 minutes left on the show if anybody wants to come up. So go ahead, Jess.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you for letting me speak. No, I was just listening to your the conversation but there's like one thing that I was listening to, I think it was like maybe towards the beginning maybe or a little bit after, about something that Trash was saying. I saw a post of his earlier talking about, I guess, because people have been talking about, Tucker and, the other one, I guess. I guess people are
Nick
talking
Fuentes.
about, yeah. They were talking about deplatforming him. I mean, I don't think, like, I know we have different views, but I know I'm conservative, but I have like a small, very small, like libertarian sort of point of view where I think people maybe should be heard, other people, even though you might disagree with them. But I'm fully conservative. Just that, just a few things
Well,
that.
Well,
you know,
just so the point that you're making is a general idea that we shouldn't be deplatforming people for things that they say. No, we shouldn't actually. Okay, like we just shouldn't do that, and we can have standards. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having standards of speech and being able to like control what like the society itself should set those standards. Though, if you say bad things, then society as a whole will react to those bad things. And you can't expect people to be mad about it. The one thing I will say is there's a bunch of people on the in this wing of people that are screaming about the censorship stuff. Like, okay, like censorship is not happening like it used to. Okay, like you can have lots of people. You can have lots of people that scream and yell about censorship, but censorship is not happening like it used to. Okay, like if you said certain things before, you just got eviscerated. Like, boop, you're gone. Gone from the internet, and you're not allowed to talk. No one sees you. Your entire account's gone. You can't do anything. You can't appeal it. You can't do anything about it. Doesn't matter. They don't care. Like that is, that's what it used to be. Now, there's one problem I have with a lot of those people that are screaming that they don't like being canceled or that they're mad that people are criticizing them. It's like, okay, if you don't like if people are mad at you, that's one thing. But like institutional support and removing you from the internet is an entirely different thing. So, that's the one thing I'll say about the way that these people react to it. Now, I do say that there is a wing of people currently that is screaming that all of these people must be deplatformed, and they're wrong for saying so. Okay, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. The idea would be if you really have something that you disagree with, then you need to go disagree with them loudly, and you need to do it publicly so that they have something else that they're forced to defend their positions. Make them defend their positions if you want to do that. If that's the better way to go about it, is to force these people into defending their positions. That would be a much more effective way of getting these people under control rather than just trying to say, well, these guys, you're platforming them. Stop doing that. Like, that doesn't work. Okay, we're not doing that anymore. We don't do that anymore. That's over. We finished that. So anyway. Okay, Nighthawk, go ahead. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, I have a question for you. Just what you think on this. With Mamdani likely to win New York, what's the chances of people leaving like crazy out of New York, going to red states and flipping them blue? Like Ohio and places. I think those places at times are kind of in the purple, aren't they? Like Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania more than Ohio. Ohio, there's some people that are hilarious and try to think that Ohio is like a swing state. Ohio is like plus 16 red now. Like, it's not even close. It's not. It really isn't even close. In Ohio, at least. Now, Pennsylvania is pretty purple. So that would be 1 point. But I'm not sure. Like what I don't know. If you're leaving New York City, you're going to go move to Pennsylvania. I don't know. I think the majority of those people always end up somewhere down in like Florida. Florida is a huge destination for that stuff. Now, do I think there's going to be a massive wave of people leaving? I mean, yeah, I kind of do actually. But I don't know if you can avoid that. We live in a country where you can move wherever you want, and you're allowed to. So I don't know how you fix it.
I've been hearing there's like a surge of like 25% increase in people looking at like Orlando, Florida right now from like New York.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, what I told people 6 months ago, or whenever it was that Mamdani won the primary, I said, if you are a real estate person in Florida, buy property now. Buy lots of it. Buy tons of it. Buy tons of property because you're going to win. Okay, if Mamdani wins in New York, the property prices in Florida are going to go up 20%. I mean, I'm not joking. That's probably true. And it's not a great thing, but it's probably accurate.
Yeah, I mean, hell, my dad is trying to sell a rental house right on the beach. So if you want to look for property,
well, tell him to wait a couple weeks. If Mamdani wins, he can sell it for 20% higher. But go ahead, Nighthawk.
No, I was just thinking of oh crap, all these blue leftist policies are going to start flooding our red states.
Well, this is something that is a problem. Okay, it is a problem. It is generally an issue where the blue people, they cause these cities and these states to have problems, and then they flood other states around them. But I will say that California has had all kinds of problems, and I know a lot of those people moved to Texas, and Texas is still plus 16 red, baby. So they're doing something right there. The better way to do that is as these people move into your areas, make sure you pay attention and make sure that they don't try to bring their values with them, and if they do, If they do try to bring their values with them, then make sure you challenge them very, very quickly. That would be the way I would say, like, make sure you're very aware in your community. Make sure you're taking care of your community. Because if you let them move in and take their policies, their ridiculous policies that drove them from their states in the first place, they'll do it. They will do that. So make sure you pay attention. That would be the only thing I say there.
What I think Trump should have done was just act like he endorsed Mamdani to drive the left insane.
Oh, listen, I said that a while ago that he should immediately come out and endorse Mamdani. That would have been hilarious. I think it would have been a very, very funny move. But the other problem with that is that Mamdani is actually, regardless of what people think about him, he is a talented politician. He probably would have played into it and figured out a way to use it and have a win with it. All right, Hill, what's up, man?
Hey, Walter, and congratulations again on your new daughter.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, to this, I don't know if people are going to leave New York. I mean, I haven't heard too much about that. I live in New York, and I don't know what I'll do. I think I'll wait and see what happens. But I wanted to go back to what you were talking about before with respect to those poly markets. For some weird reason, they seem to have completely dispensed with polls in this election, except for once or twice mentioning it. And if you walk up like one of the avenues, certainly in my on the west side, you have these video kiosks that play ads, and I kept seeing those damn Polymarket things everywhere. So somebody was obviously paying to have those broadcast all over the place, and I didn't really trust those from the beginning for some of the same reasons that you cited. That first of all, how could he have 88% to 3%? It just didn't make sense, and it never really fluctuated very much either, which also didn't make sense. And it's not it's as somebody had pointed out in another space, it's not a fair market because Mamdani's people or whoever's backing him, they know how to game this system. But I guarantee you that Mario Cuomo's and maybe even Curtis Lewa's people have really no clue, since I don't think their social media game, their technology game was very good to begin with. So I don't know. Are a lot of New Yorkers going to move to other states? I don't know. I can tell you this much. I think the smarter ones have already left, because I was accosted by a neighbor yesterday and her friend, and the first question out of her mouth was, "So how's your president doing?" I said, "My president? You mean the president?" And this one woman she nearly burst into tears because she thought people were gonna die as a result of the government shutdown. And I said, "Who's dying?" And she wouldn't even answer me. She ran off into the night. I mean, and I said to the other person that was left standing there, I said, "See how it is? You can't even talk to these people. Well, the minute you ask them to, define their reaction, they just won't do it."
Well, I find it pretty interesting that what you mentioned about there's like video kiosks showing the poly market odds that are in favor for Mamdani. That's pretty telling. I'll tell you right now. It's been used as a pretty solid propaganda piece during all this.
Yes,
I'll tell you, like I said, like realistic betting odds. There is no poll and no data anywhere ever that shows 97% victory. Okay, like that's just not realistic, people. It's obviously fake. Okay, like I mean, it could be that he has a 70% chance. Sure. That's reasonable, but a 97, like, I mean, what if he dies on the way there? Like, there's probably a 10% chance of that. Like, I mean, it's so stupid. Like, I mean, just come on, people. Like, it's like you can't sit here and claim that this is, oh yeah, it's 100% going to happen. Like, what if tomorrow he gets hit by a bus, one of his free fast buses? Like, I mean, like, come on now. Like, I mean, there's probably a 1% chance of that. So, like, I mean, like, this stuff is ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's obviously fake, and they're low volume, and they just dump money into it because they know they can. And I'm telling you, the reason they're really doing that, though, is because during the Trump's election, the poly market stuff made a dent. Okay, it made a dent. It was used. It got used by the Republicans. So the Democrats went, "Oh, well, the poly market stuff works. So we'll do that too." So they just stupidly go out there and buy a ton of money into it. So they just dump cash into this thing, so it shows 100% chance of victory. Like, oh yeah, see how realistic that is? It's like it's so like. Do you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like it's typical of the Democrats that they don't understand messaging. So what they do instead is they go out there and way overdo it. Like way overdo it. And it's pretty obvious to me. I don't know if everybody else thinks like that, but that's the way I think about it.
I mean, was it obvious to me? I mean, it certainly looked suspicious to me. And I also didn't understand, well, where are the polls? Where are because when you're polling, theoretically, you're taking a random sample and you're using scientific methods. I don't know if they actually do that. I think some of them do, but at least you'd get something more realistic. And I really don't know where we are with this thing. I can't tell. I really can't tell from talking to people, because I think everybody over the age of 30 or 40 is probably not going to vote for Mamdani. And I think, if I look at the people who are marching in these protests and the people demonstrating at, Columbia, and the people hanging out in Washington Square Park, yeah, those people are probably all going to vote for Mamdani. But how many of those can there be? And then there are, the younger ones who live out in Brooklyn and in Forest Hills, not Forest Hills, Astoria. Who knows? I really don't.
Well, and this is kind of the one silver lining I will say for you. So I've been looking at New York's data. I've been trying to, I've been paying attention to it somewhat. And I will say that I saw some pretty interesting data that came out, I think it was a couple days ago, that showed that 60% of the early voting returns that came out of New York were actually all people over the age of 50, which was pretty interesting. I mean, that means that you've got to, and by the way, the numbers for New York, the early vote numbers are massive. Huge turnout, bigger than any other New York City mayor election in a long time. So if a lot of those people are older people that are looking at this going, hell no, we're not putting this guy in charge, then maybe it's possible that he's not a shoo-in. That's possible, guys. It is possible.
Yeah,
so
I don't think he's a shoo-in. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because it's just unlike anything that's ever happened here. I mean, a lot of weird things have happened here.
Well, but it's like you don't count anything out. But I mean, the deal is, I was looking at those numbers, and those numbers did seem very interesting to me. I thought that was pretty interesting to watch. By the way, okay, guys, we have another speaker up here, John. But before we get to John, there's somebody that asked a comment on the stream. He said, "The Democrats are their intention to cause a civil war in America by holding out with the government shutdown?" No. I don't think that's what their intention is. The government shutdown, I think there's a couple reasons they're doing it. One, Schumer is terrified he's going to get primaried. Okay, that's what he's scared to death that AOC is going to primary him. What he doesn't realize, and he's stupid for not realizing this, is that AOC is going to primary him anyway. You're gone, Joe. You're gone, Chuck. You're going to get primaried. AOC is going to take you out. You're gone. Joe and Eileen Bailey aren't going to save you. Your imaginary friends, you left them. They forgot about you. They're not going to help you either. Okay, so you're going to get primaried anyway. So get the hell over it. You should just do the right thing anyway, because you're going to lose your seat. AOC is going to primary you. You're going to lose because you're Chuck Schumer and no one likes you. And you should just open the government, and maybe people would be less mad at you. But you're not doing anything, and the Democrats are being blamed for the shutdown 100%. So, no, I don't think there's going to be some sort of civil war. I don't know exactly where the civil war would be, because no one cares that the government shut down. Like, that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway I think people can realize. Like, very few people are actually caring that the government is shut down. Now, the people in SNAP benefits are upset. Sure, I get it. But, I don't think you're going to die if the government shut down for a couple weeks and the SNAP benefits are not. Like, I think you'll be okay. It's not going to be the end of all days if the government is shut down for another week or two. Because my guess is, post the election, they're going to open it anyway, because part of what they're doing right now is they're hoping that having the government shut down is also going to fuel the government workers up in Nova, which is in Virginia. So Northern Virginia is a lot of government workers, hundreds of thousands of government workers, and they're going to try and keep the government shut down, saying that, look, Trump won't open the government. But you see, the problem with that is that they're the ones that are voting to keep it shut down. They could have already passed the CR. So, and the other side of that is my point. I tell people this a lot. It's like the government workers maybe 10% of the government workers are going to vote red. Okay. And they're still going to vote red regardless if they're in shutdown or not. And all of the other ones, they were all going to vote for Abigail Spanberger anyway. They don't care. Like they were all Democrats anyway. So they were all going to vote for Spanberger anyway. They were never going to vote for Winsome. Okay. John, you came up on the show. What is up, man?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Halloween. Hope you're having a fun night. Thanks for putting this show on. I'm driving to my local bar in a clown wig and a clown t-shirt. Meet some friends. I'm running for Congress in Illinois to defeat Republican rhino vaccine liar fraudster Darren LaHood in the 16th district. And I just want to say, SNAP benefits to people who are not in the system is $3,600 a year, $300 a month almost. You got a family, people are living off of these things. So not only that, but there's a lot of fraud in it because nobody eats that much. So what they do is they cash it out. There's so much fraud in the system. The system is so broke, everybody. 37 trillion in debt, 38 trillion, 100 trillion plus in unfunded debt liabilities. Future Congress people are going to have to be debt negotiation experts. The fiat currency money supply is at an all-time high. The BlackRock vaccine injection you all took. I mean, is anybody here not aware? I mean, everybody here knows we live in clown world, and God bless Donald Trump and God bless JD Vance and his whole cabinet and America, because we picked the right team. Thank God. If Waltz and Kamala Harris were in charge, we'd probably be in World War III. The testing of nuclear weapons would have happened 6 months ago already, but maybe for real. We dodged a huge bullet. Waltz is a psychopath. Kamala Harris is a psychopathic alcoholic schmuck. We are so lucky we have Donald Trump. So I hope everybody here prays for Trump, prays for America, prays for your own health and abundance. And, God bless America, everybody. Happy Halloween 2025.
Thanks, John. Brecca, you came up here. What is up?
Hey guys, good evening. It's on the West Coast. It's almost 8:30. Happy Halloween. Glad that it's over with. Um, just enjoying the show. Shout out to Jess, my sister from another mister. She's up north of me. I love her to death, and Jack Tron. And I'll drop down so everybody can have a spot to speak.
That's great. Thank you for coming up here, Brecca. I always appreciate it. And guys, we've got 7 minutes left in the show. If you guys want to come up and join, you can request to come up on the show at any point. Just go to x.com, go to @WCDispatch, and you can find the show. Just click on the profile, and you can come up to speak, and you can request from your phone. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You can just come up here, and you can have any comment you want, or you can ask any question of me, or you can argue with me, whatever you want to do. We've got a few minutes left, but thank you guys for everybody who shows up this evening, and thank you guys for all of the support that you guys give the show and all the loyal listeners here. So thank you guys for being here. So anyway, let's go over, let's see here. Is there any other interesting big stories that we may have missed over the past week that we never got to talk about? We try to get through a ton of stuff on this show. We do. But you always end up missing something. You always miss something. So was there anything big, Jack Tron, that we missed this week that we probably should have talked about that we didn't?
That is a good question. I'll go, let me. I should. I think I sent you more stuff. Here, let me just go look. There's.
We got another request coming up here. So we got Dustin Moore coming up. And Hill, if you have your hand up, you can just give a comment, whatever you want, bud.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you had covered the whole Heritage Foundation thing and Tucker Carlson's talk with Nick Fuentes and what the hell that all means.
Yeah, I did actually cover it pretty extensively
Okay.
yesterday. If you go to Spotify, you can listen to the show from last night, and I actually talk about it really in depth on that. But I can give you a general response. The general response that I'll give you in a short, couple minute segment here would be the problem is that everybody keeps screaming about the wrong thing. And actually, the better way to do it, Hill, would actually just be go read the article that I just released on WCDispatch.com. I literally just wrote an article right before the show tonight. Go read the article. That's my real response to it, because there's a general problem amongst the right that they are yelling at each other instead of trying to help each other, instead of trying to actually teach people. They are screaming at people, and that is not a good look and not a good thing for the movement generally. The young people in this country have natural and actual good grievances, and they are being scolded rather than taught why their grievances are not being arrived at the right conclusions. And I think you've actually been on this show before when I've explained in depth the idea that the real problem is that people are not taking personal responsibility and they're trying to cop it out onto somebody else, essentially. But you can go read that article that just came out, and I've got a couple articles on this similar topics, but this is more topical for today. Dustin, what's up, man?
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for having me on. So just a quick question first off before I ask anyone that doesn't subscribe to Walter's website to get his articles. They are actually really great. Shared one out last week. I highly recommend it. Head on over there. My question is actually in regards to healthcare, and I wanted to see what your thoughts are on what Republicans plan to do if we get past the shutdown as they progress to negotiate on the expiration of the subsidies for Obamacare. What kind of path do you think they're going to have to navigate, and which direction do you think they're going to go?
Well, this gets into the general problem with entitlements. And the problem with entitlements is once you create them, they're very difficult to get rid of because people become entitled to them. Generally speaking, I think that entitlements are terrible because they create an entitled populace. People believe that they just deserve it. That's their health care. What does the matter with you? Like, I mean, there was somebody the other day, and I brought this up, and I was talking about this a couple days ago, was that someone told me that they were furious because their $67 a month health care was going to go away. And I heard that, and I was like, $67? What healthcare plan is that? I want that. That sounds incredible. I'd be pissed if someone was taking that from me. That's incredible. $67 a month. Like, I am a single man under the age of 40 with zero health problems. My healthcare is like $600 a month for a single person. Like, are you kidding me? $67? Like, that is incredible shit. So yeah, I'd be mad too if someone was taking that from me. But the problem is that if the reason that they're getting that is because we're the ones paying for it, everybody else is the ones paying for it, then maybe you just need to pay the same as everybody else. And maybe if everyone was paying the same amount and you weren't giving away free healthcare to people, maybe then we would actually be more incentivized to fix the problems with the healthcare program that was created because of Obamacare. Obamacare was designed essentially to push us into a single payer system. It's a disaster. You can literally watch the skyrocketing price of healthcare directly from when Obamacare was passed to now a 2,100% increase in healthcare premiums. It is a disaster. It should have never been done. It was one of the worst things that's ever happened to this country, and it has cost us an absolute metric fortune. Okay, we can go ahead though.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I guess my frustration is that no one asked them to break it, but now that they have broken it, Republicans are in a very tough spot because they don't want to make it look like they're the ones taking it away. And they're going to use this as the wedge issue. At least they seem like that's what they're going to do going into 2026. So that's kind of the framework I was putting it around. So
well, the only thing that I think is for Republicans that are upset about this, that they're worried that it's going to be used against them or something like that. My comment on that would be generally that they're going to use it against you anyway. One, they don't care. Like the people that are probably benefiting the most from this healthcare system, like I would argue once again that it's probably 10% of those people that even vote red in the first place. And by taking that away from them, they're not going to suddenly switch to blue. Okay, like I don't think that's going to make the biggest difference. I think the majority of those people are probably already voting blue anyway. And by the way, they're probably voting blue because they have $67 a month health care. Shit, that's a lot of money, people. That's a lot of money I'm saving by being on that health care. I'd be furious if you told me you were taking that away from me. Like, yeah, I'm sure I would be. Nighthawk, you put your hand up. What's up?
Thank you.
I was going to say one thing that's kind of flew under the radar is the illegal immigrant truck drivers they're finally cracking down on them. 146 of them arrested in northern Indiana just recently, according to Fox News. So it probably explains why all these semi drivers, it seems like they suck at driving around here.
Listen, dude, I don't know if how often you listen to this show, Nighthawk, but a couple months ago, I was literally run off the road by a semi. Like they just put me straight into a wall. Like, I mean, I was driving home and he just merged into my lane directly on top of me, totaled my car. Like, I mean, just completely, like I just got thrown into a wall and he didn't even stop. Okay. Like he didn't even stop the truck. He just kept going. Hit and run. Nothing I could do about it. And when when the state troopers, the West Virginia State Police showed up, when you know what they told me, they said, "Yeah, he's probably an immigrant on an expired visa, didn't want to get deported." That's what he told me. That was the state trooper's response. He said, "Yeah, happens all the time. Probably didn't want to get deported." I was like, "Great." That makes me feel real nice and fuzzy when I'm driving at work and driving at long hours on the road. Like that's wonderful. Great stuff there.
It's about like the guy who plowed into all those people in California, just right in the back, and they had literal camera of him just crushing everything in front of him.
Well, I think the worst one was the one where they just randomly turned like in the middle of the highway. Like he just like took the whole truck across 3 lanes of traffic, and then some minivan went underneath, and there was a family in it. That was horrible. Like, oh my God, like that was the most awful thing that I've ever seen. It's just like They had nothing they
Florida-
could do. They were going 80 miles an hour, and it just went directly into the trailer and killed all of them. Like, that's the awful stuff. Like, there's anybody that was part of the idea of giving illegals that can't read our damn road signs, giving them CDLs, they should be in prison. That should how that they should be in friggin' prison. And I actually do know that there's an investigation open into that. Hill, you have your hand up. Go ahead. Hill.
No, I don't
Yep.
think I had my hand up.
No, I see a hand up. So that's
That would be me.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
Go
so
ahead,
I
Jack
can't.
Tron.
Okay, so I can't believe we didn't talk about this, but there was this guy who posts Shiloh Marks, and he says breaking LA County is using ineligible, inactive, moved out of state voters with mail-in ballots in the Props 50 special election. But it gets better. In the comments, there was this guy who posts a screenshot of his mail-in ballot status that says your ballot has been mailed, and the caption is, I haven't lived at this address or in California in years.
That's nice. But again, it's California. Like, look, guys, you have to remember how bad California is, okay? Like, there was a great video that came out during the general in California, and it was this dude who just walks into a polling station, right? So he just walks in, and he walks up to get a ballot to vote, and he said, and they were like, well, so what's your name? And he said, I don't know. And they were like, huh? He's like, yeah, I don't know my name. And you're like, what, huh? And they were like, well, how old are you? And he's like, it could be 30, 20, 40. I'm not sure. I couldn't call it. And he just sits there and just goes back and forth. And the eventual response from the lady at the polling station was, well, whatever, it's California. Here's your ballot. Like, what? Like, just, oh my, this is real. This is like a real video of this guy just doing this. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's California. Whatever. Just give him the ballot. Who cares? No one cares. Everyone knows it's fake here. Like, oh, that's nice. That makes everybody very, very confident in the system. You got to love it, though. Kyle Smiley, you came up here on stage. What is up?
I was going to say, wasn't Trump's campaign promise to repeal Obamacare in the first term? So
Well,
why hasn't it happened in the?
So the idea was, yeah, he wanted to repeal Obamacare, but the problem is, again, you had a bunch of squishy, useless Republicans that didn't want to get rid of it. You know, they didn't want to move it. You would have to get there through the Senate, and I believe it was John McCain that killed that. So you want to blame somebody, blame McCain, and everybody hates him anyway. So it's actually just easier for everybody. McCain was the final vote on that actually ended up ending that. So you can blame McCain for that. Dustin, you have your hand up. Go right ahead.
Nope, I was just saying 100% actually. So that it looks like Jessica maybe. Sorry.
Oh, okay. The hands for me just show everybody up here with a hand up. So if you have a comment, and as long as somebody else is done speaking, you can go next. Just go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been, I was thinking about what they're saying right there. I don't know. Did you see the post right now? I don't know. I just saw one right now, and it shows people in a naval yard in DC, like they're fighting with the National Guard, and then I saw another video in my hometown, like this morning, like they're fighting with DHS. I guess people that looks like paid agitators, maybe.
I don't know. Put the story down in the comments and I'll check it out. I don't know what's going on. It's pretty. It sounds pretty like if you're part of the left now, it's just like you're supposed to go fight ICE on a regular basis because resist or something. Like that's just like their whole platform now. It's defund the police 2.0. Web3 junkie, you came up here on stage. What is up? No?
Yo.
What's
Yeah,
up?
I'm good. Yeah. I just saw this space running and all. So I wanted to ask, do you apart from do you also discuss geopolitics too?
What now?
Geopolitics like Russia, Ukraine, and co.
I mean, I do some geopolitics, but majority of this show is based on American policy and American politics. I mean, I cover it and I follow it, but I mean, generally speaking, most of this show is based for American audience because this is an American show in America. So that's I do cover some of it, but not that much. It's just not that interesting to me generally. I mean, I do follow it, but I just don't. It's not my focus. There's a lot of other shows on X They're everywhere. Okay, like there's like 1,000 shows that talk about nothing but geopolitics all the time. And when I started this show months ago now, my intention was to make sure that I talk about things that I think that people in my local area would want to hear. So that was my intention. And I live in the Midwest, and I wanted to talk about things that I thought local people in the Midwest would want to hear, that people in my local areas would want to hear and want to talk about. So that's what this show is focused on. So yes, I do talk about geopolitics, but not generally. It's not my focus.
Okay, yeah. Where do you think Trump is getting the money from? The law enforcement is paying and the military. Like, did he save up some money?
What did you say? What was the first part of that?
Yeah, where do you think Trump is getting all the money from? Like, the money is paying the law enforcement from.
Oh! So you're talking about where he's getting the money to pay some of these people?
Yeah.
There actually was
Yeah.
private donors. So there were some private donors that donated a couple $100 million to pay for this stuff. Now I don't know if any of those people were disclosed or how that was
One
done.
guy, remember that the 150 million donation to the troops. What was his name again? It was just like I think it was like Milan or something.
Yeah, I saw that, but generally speaking, I don't know. The funding for things in the troops and everything like that. I generally think that they'll just find ways to pay for that. The money in the government, people love to just claim that the government's shut down, but everyone forgets that the money is fungible inside the government, and they have lots of it just doing things. So I assume that they're probably still going to figure out ways to pay for stuff.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay.
All right, NCSU gal, what is up?
Hey, Walter, thank you for letting me up here to speak, and congratulations on your new baby girl. But I wanted to ask about Winsome Sears. I know that her bus blew up on fire. Have you discussed that? I fell asleep for a minute in the beginning of the show, but I know that the Republican governors had given her like $4 million, and so she actually did that bus up again for the final week or so of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And then it blew up on fire. Is there any more information on that and what she actually did to that bus to get it going?
I don't know what the status of the bus is, and as far as I'm aware, it wasn't like her specific bus. It was a campaign bus. And I think they had more than one. So I don't know if it was like her. I know no one was hurt in the incident. I know no one was hurt, but I don't know exactly what happened to it. I haven't heard any direct updates on that. And as far as I'm aware, though, that they've got other buses that they're using. They're going to continue the tour.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Jacktron, it shows you with the hand up, and Chris came back. So welcome back, Chris. We were about to shut down, but welcome back.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. I know I told you I was going to hop on the computer, but then I got a call from my daughter, so I had to go pick her up.
No worries, dude. No worries. I mean, we were going through the final bit here, just seeing if anybody wanted to come up and have comments. And guys, if you are on stage right now and you have a comment, just go ahead and on mic and say something because the hands just aren't working for me. So if you have something else to say, any other comments, go ahead.
I mean, I don't have my hand up right now. I'm still just trying to find more stuff we could discuss. But
No, I mean, it's okay. So, Jack, anything that you have that we have saved, we'll use it for other content. But the deal is for the final bit of the show, if you wanted to join and actually talk, anybody else that's on the show that wanted to come up and say something and ask me questions, you're welcome to do so. But if that's it, guys, we are over time by 10 minutes anyway, so we can go ahead and shut down. And we will be back on Monday. So Monday night, I will be doing a traveled space probably. I will, the show will be back, but I will probably be. It might just be audio only, so it might just be. I'll probably still stream it, but it will probably be audio only because I will be on the road and down in Virginia. So how I'm going to do the show yet, I haven't even figured that out yet. It looks like we have one more request, so Isabel will come up here and ask a question before we shut down. But we will be back on Monday, and then Tuesday night we will probably not have a show because I will be at the Winsome Sears event. Now I'm going to actually be on radio that night covering the show for a special election section from a Charlottesville radio station, I think it is. So if you guys want to, if you're in Virginia, you can listen to me there. But I'll probably just have someone open the space up, and I'll probably pop in throughout it. Isabel, you came up here. What's up?
Hello. So I'm sorry, I only caught the tail end of your show and of your space, that is. And I came up when you were describing your very scary accident with on the freeway. I just I'm actually from Washington State. I live in Washington State, and something that I wanted to bring up very quickly is that I found out not too long ago that at least in this state, that it is reported that or estimated that 1 out of 3 drivers are high or intoxicated when they are on the road. And how I came to find out about this is because the police chief of our capital, Olympia, Washington, apparently was working. They were doing a DUI emphasis, and he was just sitting in his parked car when a drunk driver hit him so badly that he was hospitalized. And so they did a little story about him in the news and they interviewed him. And that's when he said that it is estimated that 1 out of 3 drivers in Washington state is drunk or high. So it's not just illegals that are the problem. It's at least here. It's drugs, mostly drugs around here. And I know that you're wrapping up, but it'd be an interesting topic to bring up maybe in your next space, because at least here we have a problem with enforcement and with law enforcement having their hands tied behind their back due to, different laws that have been changed, basically almost legalizing drugs altogether, at least possession. But even DUIs, hit and runs. I live on a major street and I see car wrecks all the time. And almost 90% of them are hit and run. And that's because the police, if you do call the police, they will not pursue, they will not investigate. They just will hand people a case number to take through their insurance companies. And it's the crime and the drugs and the hit and runs, also car thefts, all of that have become such a plague. You should my car insurance rates are through the roof, and this is part of the reason. And I'm literally afraid to drive very far because I don't know who's going to hit me, or who is drunk or who is high driving next to me. It's awful around here. It would be a really interesting topic to talk about next
there's
phase.
so the next show, by the way, and by the way, Isabel, this show we broadcast onto Spaces, but there is a live video version of this show streaming simultaneously right now. So we're on about 6 different platforms currently. So this show we will be back.
Oops, that was a thumbs up. That was a thumbs up. Sorry.
I'm not paying attention to thumbs. I'm watching the screen here. But what I will say is that that problem is actually something that exists a lot of places. For instance, in my state, in Ohio, right, you are allowed in Ohio to get essentially infinite DUIs, and they will never take your license. They just eventually get you on it's like a 401 code or something like that, and you have to pay like an astronomical amount of money every month. It's like $800 a month or something to be able to drive with it, but you can still keep driving. It's crazy. Like, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, if you have 7 DUIs, you shouldn't fucking drive anymore. Sorry, if you keep doing it, then you shouldn't be able to do it anymore. You just shouldn't be able to. Okay, if you keep getting DUIs, you keep getting them, you keep getting them. Sorry, you're a drunk and you're a loser. You can't drive anymore. Like, I mean, we just need to have some sort of standards in terms of prosecuting people. And I know in blue states that this is a big problem. But that's a problem that has to come from the bottom up, and that's the only way that kind of stuff gets fixed. It really is something that you guys, the local area has to rally together to get somebody better in the prosecutor's role in the local area. That's the only thing you can do. I think that there's been a big problem, obviously, with Soros DAs and a bunch of stuff like that across the country, that there's just weak prosecutors that won't actually go after crime. That stuff needs to be fixed. Okay, I mean, we have to enforce laws. We have to actually prosecute criminals, and we have to hold people accountable, because if you don't hold them accountable, it only gets worse. And it sounds to me like you were experiencing it getting worse, and rapidly so. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for the show this evening. We will be back on Monday night for the Political Theater at 9 p.m. Thank you guys for showing up here, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for being here.
Some folks are born with a liberty spark. Their hearts beat red, white, and blue. When the anchors sneer and the cameras bark, they turn the lens right back at you. Truth bound, ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not the party line sons, no, it ain't for sale, ain't for sale. we're the vigilant ones. So some folks inherit silk-lined halls, spend our sweat while preaching share. But when the tax man wraps his knuckles raw, their mansions suddenly look bare, impaired. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not their banker-raised hares, no. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so... Yeah, some paint stars on press room lies and send the common men to toil. Ask them, how much truth will you trade tonight? They mutter, more noise, more noise, more noise. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. Not the theater's pawns, friend. It ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're America's steadfast ones. No, we won't be spun.